See you. That's my oh wow. That's my start screen now. Wow. I like it. Man versus mascots indeed. Goddamn proto badger. Husband and I get to figure out, oh, filing married jointly this tax season? It's super easy. Like, it is honestly way less work than filing two people individually. You check one box that's basically a bit different, and then you do it like usual, but only once. This is very Danganronpa. I don't know, I'm not dead enough for it. March 13th, 1:22 p.m., Gate Waterland main gate, where that horrible badger still exists. Also, is that Pain down the lower left? Chased out like a pair of peasants. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Kay? There's something even thieves should never steal. Do you know what that is? My spotlight? You really shouldn't steal anything, however, I'll bite. What shouldn't a thief steal? A life. It's too heavy of a burden on your soul to get away with, ever. Well, that's something we can agree on. Well said, Kay. Not a bad answer. What the hell is that emote? Everything is fine, huh? No matter what we may try, murder is the one crime that can never truly be hidden. Did we ever find Jimmy Hoffa's body? And I intend to prove that by my own hands. When I apprehend the murderer myself. Alright, I'm gonna work extra hard to be a good assistant. Let's go. I still never said she could be my assistant. I'm just gonna drop the issue. I mean, she's done well enough so far, right? The first thing we should do is locate the real scene of the murder. We had a body that was dumped unceremoniously in a garage. We need to figure out where it actually came from. Of a man claiming to be Oliver Deacon, whose name is definitely something else. Mr. Edgeworth. Detective Gumshoe. How the hell did you get away this time?
Mr. Edgeworth, the stadium. Hurry, sir. Yeah, this is supposed to be hush-hush, but they found a witness at the stadium.
A witness? What do we tell you about leaving your assigned post?
Jig is up. Mr. Edgeworth, remember that I'm always rooting for you, so go get him, sir.
Those detectives sure look like they're enjoying themselves. It's not all fun and games, Kay. Now then, let's head to the stadium and meet this witness. That godforsaken, damaged, terrible badger sign. Yep, now you just gotta wait for the W2s. It's not honestly not hard at all, Mom Cat. March 13th, 1:42 p.m. Stadium. And because I'm going to shamelessly shill it, the YouTube side is also up, which is very nice bitrate. By all means, do me a favor. Do a lurk. Help us get repartnered over there again. My tea will stay on. I thought there was a witness here. Oh good, it's the pink version of the souvenir mobile. Yeah, like, I don't see anyone. Oh boy. No, don't know who the voice is, so thank you, was the fun, I appreciate it. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh god, is that MS Sky? If it is, we have a small problem. We already used her voice for someone else, who fortunately appears to have temporarily left, so hopefully she doesn't come back anytime soon, because I kinda don't want two people with the same voice in the same scene. Which reminds me, I'm gonna pull that list up and now I can add her to it. The Return of Emma Sky. Who was, as I recall, is a German. Oh, yes, well, I guess I got practice with Franziska earlier. Long time no see. You are Miss Emma Sky, correct? This girl is the younger sister of my former superior, Lana Sky. 2 years ago, we stood in the same courtroom together as witness and prosecutor. But I thought she'd gone to Europe to study forensics. What is that badge, girl?
I cannot believe you remember me, Mr. Edgeworth.
Of course I do. How have you been? You look to be in good spirits. No, but seriously, what the hell is that badge? Are you still studying abroad?
Well, you bet more than anything I want to investigate crime scenes scientifically.
I do remember being very happy when she was the first person who finally screamed Luminol. I was like, finally, please! I'd wanted some for so long. Haha, nice, Paimon. And I appreciate you being a lurk over there too, Paimon.
I have been studying non-stop every day to become a top-notch forensic scientist. But it's spring break now, so I thought I'd come back for a bit.
I see. Oh, we have some catching up to do then. I almost didn't recognize you. You've really grown in the past few years.
Please don't tease me, Mr. Edgeworth. I know I still have a long way to go. But I'm going to be a super forensic scientist someday. You'll see.
You seem to know Mr. Edgeworth really well. Are you two acquaintances?
Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Emma Sky. Nice to meet you.
Poor Emma. I didn't mind her, I just hated that the case she was involved in was so unbelievably long.
I'm studying abroad now to be a forensic scientist. How about you?
Wow, that's a great dream. My name's Kay Faraday. And I'm training to become an unstoppable great thief.
A great thief.
Don't think too hard on it, Emma. It's not worth the trouble. In any case, we have much to catch up on.
You bet we do.
So why are you here, Emma?
Well, I just happened to decide to come back home for spring break. And then I heard you'd come back too, so I raced on over here. I had really wanted to welcome you back at the airport, but I had just missed you.
And how exactly did you know I was here?
Just through the power of science, naturally. Never understood what science can do for you.
I love that she's doing that on what basically looks like an old DS.
I use these to track your footprints and I follow them straight to you.
Okay then. That's a little creepy.
This set is the rightest. It's so wonderfully scientific.
So an OG DS, right? You could even see the lines on the back for the stylus slipping in and out.
Just raise this chemical on the ground, and when you shine the special light on it, zing, the footprints light up like an electrified noble gas in a glass tube. It is almost like magic, scientifically speaking.
Forensic science has never seemed more ominous to me than at this very moment. I do love her animations, though. Emma, I'd like to ask about what you witnessed.
What are you talking about?
Are you not the witness Detective Gumshoe told us about?
Well, I did get a call from Detective Gumshoe earlier. He was practically yelling at me. Mr. Edgeworth needs your scientific doohickeys right now, pal, he said.
What was that man thinking? Or rather, not thinking?
So let me guess, there has been a murder, right?
Yes, unfortunately. There's a sudden glint in her eyes. But I need to keep my mind focused on the witness. Now, where did that person go? And are they a pink badger? And also, while I'm here, I must present my prosecutor's badge.
Oh, this is the symbol of a prosecutor, right? But I don't think I've ever seen you wear it, though.
Well, I'm not as enthusiastic about wearing it as you are with your pin badges.
I know, right? I mean, I really wanted to put even more on today, actually.
You've got one. You've only got like one on. You could have fit more, I'm sure. Also, I picked a hell of a day to go back to wearing my lab coat. I can't tell if I'm in good company or the worst. Oh, hey, I like yours, Kay. Do you have any extras? Oh, sorry, she's saying that to Kay. Sorry, but there's only one of these in the world, and it's proof that I am a great thief, and sure, keep your goddamn hands off. I've expected her to steal it. Or try. Well, let's see. Hello, weird souvenir mobile. I assume this is another Badger mobile?
Yeah, but it's like a different color than the Blue Badger's car.
Yes. This is the retina-searing pink model. What's that off in the distance?
Oh, hey, it's the Pink Badger. Badger, get.
Badger, 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 Badger. Just what does she see in these silly things?
You know that is intentional. Given when this happened, that is 100% intentional.
Oh, here we go again.
I think this Badger has something to say to you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Are you by chance the witness I've been searching for? Sorry, but I don't speak Badger dance.
Well, if there had been any question, that eliminated it. Oh, I can't take being inside that stuffy head anymore.
You're... No. Why her? Why here? Why now? I first met this woman 3 years ago. She was a witness in one of my cases. She has since gone out of her way to pop up unexpectedly and cause me great grief.
Oh, Edgy-po. Why couldn't you understand what I was trying to tell you?
Oh boy. Oh god, here we go. I'm glad we kept her voice free. Alright. Old bag's back in the list. And she returns to her original voice of Lala. Oh, spit out your water?
Yay. Why couldn't you understand what I was trying to tell you? I mean, really. I was trying so hard to keep the kids' dreams alive by staying in character. But you couldn't pick up on what I was trying to convey to you. I'm sick and tired of the roundabout way of talking, so I'm just gonna be direct.
I had a bad feeling before, but this just made it official. Today has gone beyond the typical not my day into the realm of waking nightmare.
Oh, so like you're a friend of Mr. Edgeworth too, Miss Pink Badger? Oh, you could say that, but right now I'm just the Pink Badger, dearie.
She may look the part, but I know better than to trust my eyes around this woman.
Ace Obitarian Attorney, yep. My name is Wendy Oldbag, but you can call me Wendy or Granny or whatever suits your fancy.
Oh my god. See, now that I know she's here, I'm terrified of, like, letting my throat get too dry in case she goes into one of her incredibly fast rants. Must stay prepared and hydrated.
Nice to meet you, Miss Oldbag. I'm Kay Faraday. Why do I care about a young whippersnapper like you? Yeesh, I was just trying to be polite.
Okay, let's talk to Wendy Oldbag. Weren't you a security guard at one of the Gatewater hotels the last time we met?
I go where I'm needed. I'm very good at what I do, unlike the youth of today.
Oh gosh, she's one of those. Oh no.
I get called in all the time to fill in when there aren't enough hands. But enough about me, Edgy-po. I'm thoroughly dejected right now. I finally get a chance to see you again, and here you are talking with two young girls. Men are all the same. It doesn't matter how old they get. They go, oh god, with the young girls, why just the other day happened with you? And oh my gosh, speaking of accident, but every marriage for the next year, all to see what he sees in her and all, as they say, the precipitate 3 years to ripen the girl. You seem to attract all sorts of interesting people, Mr. Edgeworth. God damn!
Maxie, I honestly couldn't tell you what the Twitch algorithm does. There was a big burst of random gift subbing, and as far as I can tell, it eventually just spilled out into everything, anyone, anywhere. Like, their algorithm's super broken sometimes. So you guys randomly enjoy the science mug and emotes while you have them. Apologies for the confusion. Blame Twitch's algorithm. It's weird. Okay, please, I'm begging you. By all means, do not provoke her any further. Yeah. I think her fast lines were easier to read before. Aren't you forgetting about something, Mr. Edgeworth? This person could be the witness. Honestly, I hope she isn't, but I don't think fate is going to be so kind today.
Oh, I saw what happened. I even saw the exact moment it happened. How's that?
Oh, so it's true. She, like, is the witness. I don't suppose I can afford to ignore the old bag.
Yes, it was just a little while ago. I saw it happen right in front of me. The moment of the murder.
You mean to say you witnessed someone being killed right before your eyes? Oh, but it's old bag. You know it's not gonna be real. Sounds like a pretty important piece of testimony to me, though. Oh, come on. What old bag supposedly witnessed? Oh, that is absolutely a fair point, Last Harley Marie. There is a way to turn off the stuff so you just don't get gift subs from places you don't follow.
I came to the stadium to take a short break. As I was resting, I happened to glance over and saw two men facing each other in that area. Suddenly, there was a loud gunshot, and the person who was shot fell to the ground. It was a very terrifying experience, let me tell you.
Uh-huh.
Looks like we totes hit the jackpot, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, I can't afford to ignore what she has to say. Unfortunately.
What's that unfortunately you tacked on the end supposed to mean, Edgy Poo?
Well, anyway, let's see what we can find out from this little old lady. Help us. Alright, well, let's just go ahead and press on everything and hope for the best. You mean you took a break from being the Pink Badger?
Well, you may not think it, but it's hard work keeping kids' dreams alive. They don't have much money, and I got a lot of stuff to sell them. You smell of sweat, your hip creaks with pain. You even begin to dream about work.
That's the kind of story that would scar a child for life, you know.
Well, that's why I chose to take my break. Yeah, you whippersnapper. I don't plan on playing the part of the dead badger in front of a bunch of kids.
Oh, no, I think we already have a dead badger somewhere. So, what did you see while you, the Pink Badger, were resting?
Oh yes, that. Well, as I was resting, I happened to glance over and saw two men facing each other in that area.
Hold it! Okay. Which is a may regret. Let's keep pressing. You saw two men? Can you describe them for me?
They look like your average Joes, completely uninteresting and not worth fawning over.
Thanks. That super narrows it down for me. Love it.
I'm telling you, they were so boring that I didn't even remember much beyond that.
But did they have any special features? Anything you recall would be very helpful.
Oh my, don't tell me you're jealous of those two men.
Hey, she's right. You do seem pretty worked up over them, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm not worked up over everyone, and I'm not jealous.
Oh, it's all right, Ichibu. Those two were just foals compared to a stallion like you.
This girl's lines are gonna kill me. Hey, Newton, guess what? The old bag's back.
I thought so little of them that I lost interest in the instant I laid eyes on them. Suddenly there was a loud gunshot and the person who was shot fell to the ground. It was a very terrifying experience.
Oops, I forgot to press the other one, so let's press this one. See, even instinctively I don't want to talk to her any further. Help.
Well, don't you have anything to say to me?
No, not especially.
You're You're so cold, Echipo. But that's exactly what I like about you. You sure are one tough cookie, one part unshakable and one part scary. Watch the smart mouth of yours, Missy. What do you know about my fragile heart?
I can tell this is an important piece of testimony, but she's rather vague in a few spots. I suppose this means I'm gonna have to talk with her some more. Alright, I gotta go back and push on the one that or press on the one I didn't. Yeah, would be kind of important to press on that.
Hold it!
You're claiming to have seen the exact moment in which the murder took place?
Oh, absolutely. The gun made a terrible racket when it was fired.
You didn't try to go help the person that got shot?
I'm only one person, you smart alecky brat. What could I have done? I took off as soon as I could to find someone who could help.
2 men, 1 bullet. It's all consistent with what we found out from the body. Sadly, there wasn't exactly a lot of new information to go on in your testimony.
Well, if I saw the guy again, I'm sure I could identify him for you. I mean, how do you expect me to remember anything without something to jog my memory?
That's a fair point. What do we, can we... That's just murder notes, though. It's not literally... Was one of them wearing this head? Were any of them badgers? Self-centered, aren't we? While it was somewhat useful, her testimony also presents us with a new problem. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? So about this new problem. What is that giant grin on your face for? Do you want me to show you something really nice? In the words of Mad Max, that's bait. No, thank you. Oh, don't be so mean. I swear it's something you're gonna like. What is that gadget you're holding? What you see before you is the secret weapon of a great thief. I should have known it would be worthless. Don't be like that. What do you think now? What? What is it doing? It's projecting something into the air. I'm gonna input the necessary information around the simulation now. Wait, what? Once I'm done, I'll increase the size of the projection to its maximum size. Did she just... What? What techno-magic bullshit is this? Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares take wing, one alone remains all-seeing. Now witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. What is this I call such incredible bullshit? What the fuck? No, not just enhance ring song. Zoom and enhance. Oh my god. I know Ace Attorney is by its nature not particularly believable. But that is a stretch. This is a recreation of the murder based on the info I inputted into Little Thief. Little Thief? I dare say I think you're taking the Robin Hood thing a bit too far. Little Thief is actually meant to be a simulator for me to plan my thefts. But I suppose if I used it like this... Let's see. This old bag said the 2 men were facing each other. Well, this wouldn't be consistent with the gunshot already. Black line on the screen? Black line on the screen. Where's the black line on the screen? So there is. Cheating. I get that out of the way to recorrect my height. There we go. And then a gunshot rang out and the victim fell to the ground. The slow squeeze. Well, I was gonna... I can't actually put the green screen up any higher, and I had the desk with my camera mounted to it up a tiny bit higher because I was standing on some foam padding to ease the 4 hours I'm on my feet for this. But I'll just stand on the floor. Ah, so with this, we can inspect the crime scene as it was in the past.
See? So what do you think?
I have to say I'm impressed by the technology thieves have access to these days.
But no, seriously. What the hell? Well, it is the super secret weapon of the mighty Yatagarasu.
Indeed.
Oh, but if there's enough information or if something's out of place, the recreation could come out a little strange.
In other words, I can use this to authenticate the validity of a witness's testimony.
You got it. You really catch on quick, Mr. Edgeworth.
Right now, the simulation is a recreation of that witness's testimony. So for now, I should re-examine everything. And if I find anything illogical or strange, I can then ask for clarification.
Feel free to examine anything in the simulation in the way you always do. You can even present evidence when you find a contradiction. And if you find something, I've got Little Thief with me, so just let me know, okay? What? What even?
Oh my god. I will not say that Ace Attorney has ever been particularly believable, but that is the straw that breaks the camel's back for me.
As someone who actually works in software, I really, really loathe this kind of Magitech garbage.
NCIS hacking, I literally will not even watch that show. According to the testimony, the victim fell to the ground here.
That's right, but...
Well, if that's the case, then we've already found our first contradiction.
What? Where?
If this is the real scene of the crime, there's something missing that should be here. Which piece of evidence shows the missing item? I mean, where's the blood, for one? What else do we have at the moment? Okay, well... Since we don't have access to blood, I'm gonna guess we're going on the fact that there's no tracks. Or, I mean, they do specify body was moved from somewhere. No sign of blood. It could be either. It could be that there's no tracks, because you know the body was loaded up and taken from here. Or it could be based on the body was moved and there was blood, but there's no blood here. I figure either answer could potentially suffice for this, so we'll start with... Oh, do I want to base it on the blood? What do I think they're really going for? I feel like that's going to come up in regard to the shooter's positioning instead, so I'm going to start with this on the grounds that there doesn't appear to be any sign of tracks.
Take that!
Oh, okay, nope, that's not what they want. NCIS hacking was writers having a bad tech off with their... Yes! Yes, and incidentally, Bones is incredibly egregious in terms of Magitech bullshit. Especially simulated Magitech bullshit. Maybe you're still adjusting to the simulation? Yeah, that's it. So it's saying the scene lies in what is missing in this scene. Well, there's nothing else we can talk about being missing unless we're going to go with just the blood. So...
Take that!
Okay, no sound. The blood. Figure just the tire tracks or the blood, 50-50. This is the contradiction.
Is something wrong with my recreation?
If this is the real scene of the crime, something specific should be here. If you think back, how did we deduce that the other crime scene was not the real one?
Oh, I get what's missing now. There's no blood on the ground here either, right?
Right. The fact that there's no blood here casts doubt on the witness's testimony. I mean, if he was shot in the suit, he would have mostly bled in the suit. I don't know how much would have necessarily gotten out before they moved it.
Oh, Echipo, how can you doubt me like that? Are you calling me a liar? I know what I saw, and I saw the victim get shot down. You know, I don't think she's lying, Mr. Edgeworth.
The finders...
Oh,
Oh, yeah, the finder starred, oh, damn it, Pete Schultz, I think. I remember that. Also starred an actor who has since died. That was, yeah, total bullshit, but also really fun. To be honest, I can't think of a reason why she would lie to me. In that case, maybe there's another explanation for the distinct lack of blood. Why is there no blood around the victim's thrown body? Because... Do I have enough to piece things together yet for that? No. Okay, gotta poke around a bit more then. It's a silhouette of the killer with his gun at the ready. Okay, is it not possible to recreate the face of the killer?
From what?
Well, I can't exactly input what we don't know into Little Thief. She has a point. I approach magic tech bullshit the same way I approach Kingdom Hearts, just don't think about it too hard. Oh, not an option. I literally, this just, I work with software for a living. It's not. Anything else I can look at over here? Looks like they broke the stage down. Alright, stage I saw this morning in the center of the stadium has been packed away. I guess this means they're done for the day. Or maybe it's because a different show is scheduled to start its run tomorrow. Is that all I can look at here? Alright, I've talked to everyone present. I can't seem to look at the Badger Mobile anymore, and I've checked that stuff. Stage is packed up, why is there no blood? Okay, so might have been whacked on the stage stuff that they packed up. Nope, okay. Well, I'm clearly missing something then. Let's chat. So you believe this gadget will provide us with the proof we need? This stuff seems so inadmissible in court, but to be fair, that's not new for the series. Yeah, of course. Pretty neat, huh? By inputting info like this, it can recreate the crime scene exactly as it was. The Little Thief was originally intended to be a training sim for heists. Training sim for thievery? I don't believe I can turn a deaf ear to that, Kay. It's for practice. Practice. It's not like I've actually stolen anything yet. Other than, you know, the role of assistant. We also aren't in court anymore. That's fair, but Edgeworth doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who's going to be okay with, like, not real evidence. I mean, if we were okay with that, then we wouldn't have any issues with Lang. Besides, we're in the middle of an investigation, so stop nitpicking. Even if it's just practice, I can't exactly endorse the act of stealing. Although admittedly, this device is rather useful in an investigation. So then what we really have to do is confiscate it. So how am I supposed to use this to aid my investigation?
Oh, that's right. I guess I should explain how to use it, huh? Objects outlined in yellow are things that are not present in our time but were in the past. Things outlined in a dotted line are things that exist now but didn't in the past.
I see.
You can examine and interact with replicated people and objects as you normally do. You can even present evidence whenever you find an inconsistency. Be sure to point out like mistakes in the recreation with evidence too.
Very well, let's continue with the investigation.
If there's something you don't get about Little Thief, feel free to ask anytime, okay?
Now, can I present, See... What I don't like about the simulation right now is that they were shot standing up, which is inconsistent with our murder notes.
What do you think about this?
If you're gonna steal anything, at least keep your hands off my lines. Okay, so I can't do anything useful with that. We'll talk to everyone here. Oh, oops. Nope. Alright, what else we gotta deal with here? Now I'm fairly convinced the victim was killed here, but then why is there no blood? Must be some explanation for the contradiction. Perhaps I should go over all the information I've gathered one more time. But I don't really have... Oh, was the victim in a costume is actually the last line of victim's kidnapper. Okay. I missed that. That's what we wanted. If this was accurate at all, then Lang would literally not have a job and be student oblivion for so many wrongful arrests. No, 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 no. He would just be American, Harley. Yeah. Yeah, we're going there. Is it not possible the victim was wearing a costume?
So you really think Mr. Deacon was one of the kidnappers?
I think we can reasonably assume there's a very good chance that he was. And that if he shot while he was inside one of those stolen costumes...
And Mr. Deacon's blood would be inside the costume instead of on the ground.
Precisely. Now, if only we could prove the victim was wearing a costume. Also, if only we could trade you in permanently in lieu of Gumshoe. Because we don't pay you, and you actually seem vaguely intelligent.
You'd think it'd be pretty easy if we could find some footprints. But the problem is finding them, since there doesn't seem to be any around.
Footprints, huh? I wonder how we can go about finding some of those. Oh boy. Emma Sky, it's time for you to be creepy.
This is amazing. Just feels the power of science.
Emma, about that method you were talking about for finding footprints?
Oh, finding my expert knowledge in forensics is needed.
Yes, well, can you detect and trace even partial footprints?
Leave it to me. My cutting-edge detection kits can find anything.
Before we turn her away from her dreams of being a thief because her stuff is so useful. I don't feel like that's gonna happen. Very well, if you could please analyze the footprints in this area.
Okay, stand back now and witness the power of science at work.
I don't know if anything you're gonna do is gonna outdo what the thief has already done. Oh, that's a cute animation. I like that.
Oh, I found something. Look right here.
I don't see anything.
Oh, that's right here. Put these special glasses on, Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh, please let me see him wearing them. These footprints here were definitely left by a badger costume.
Judging by the way the prints are layered, those seem to be the newest.
Then we can conclude that the victim was definitely wearing a costume at the time. There we go. Likely wearing one due to footprint shape and lack of blood. And given that we found the lone head, there's a reasonable chance that the bad badger one is what he was wearing.
Okay, in that case, I'll update Little Thief's simulation parameters.
I just want to say Little Thief like Little Book in my head because of Daimyo.
I can't wait to see what we find out from this new info.
Boom, thud. So the victim was wearing a costume when he died.
And with that, we should be one step closer to the truth, right?
Yeah, face-planting badgers, boom, thud. See, the recreation has changed in accordance with the new information. We may be closer, but now something else has caught my attention.
Oh, what do you want?
Your testimony, naturally. I'd like to hear it one more time, if you please. God, the side eye she's given us. What old bag witnessed?
I came to the stadium to take a short break. As I was resting, I happened to glance over and I saw two men facing each other in that area. Suddenly there was a loud gunshot and the person who was shot fell to the ground. It was a very terrifying experience, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So, does this mean that Miss Oldbag's testimony has a contradiction in it?
Yes, and I believe our best course of action is to compare it with your recreation.
See, I just knew Little Thief would be of help. Now let's see if we can pull more info from Miss Oldbag to put into the recreation.
For that, we must first find the contradiction in her testimony. See, I'm pretty sure this is where we're going to come down to the angle. Through the abdomen and exiting the shoulder. That's an upward trajectory. So if they were standing facing each other, that doesn't really work. Unless one of them was very, very short. And still in the badger costume, I guess. So, saw two men facing each other in that area. I think it's the facing each other line that I want, so I'm just gonna press on that to double check.
Hold it!
You saw two men. Oh, this is just can't even describe them, man. She can't because they're average. She did say standing there facing, so I'm gonna go with that. I can see this working off of the line about facing or the line about the gunshot itself. I'm gonna go with facing first because that implies the specifics of the positioning.
Objection!
Hold on for a second. What you said just now in this piece of evidence... Okay, we'll try on the next line then.
What is it now? If you have something to say, then out with it already.
Never mind.
This is the first time I've seen you make a face like that, Mr. Edgeworth. That's because it's reserved all for me. Only I get to see it.
Oh dear.
Oh, so that's why.
I'd appreciate it if you kept your morbid fantasies to yourself. Alright, I want to talk about the gunshot.
Objection!
Hold on for a second. What you said just now in this piece of evidence still don't work. Okay, so that's not what we want. I really thought we were going to talk about the angle of the shot finally. Apparently not. Oh god, this woman.
Hold it!
Press on that. Claiming to see the exact moment where it took place. Gun made a terrible racket. Didn't help. Took off to find some help. Huh, okay, what am I missing then? None of this particularly strikes me as contradictory, other than the fact that... I wonder if this is the thing where we're thinking like a couple steps ahead on something, because the very first time we even examined this body, I got hung up on the trajectory of the shot itself, and I've been waiting to see where that will go, so now I keep trying to fit it in anywhere I think it would go. See if she recognizes the head. We could, let's see. I think that would be on... Well, we could... That wouldn't be a contradiction, though. It might be the only thing she recognizes, but I mean... It wouldn't really be a contradiction at that point, would it? I guess there's also the argument, how do you know it was two men if someone was in a costume? Do I think Edgeworth will celebrate when Old Bag kicks the bucket, or is she like the Obitarian undying? Old Bag is not an individual. Old Bag is a force of nature. Can you ever truly stop a force of nature? There's no escape. She's a literal act of God. God help us. Alright, I'm gonna go with this on the grounds that she says she saw two men, but if they're in a costume, how do you know it's a man? She might... I wonder if that'll lead her to... No. I wonder if that'll lead her to comment that one of them was only wearing half a costume, but I'm gonna go for that.
Objection!
Two men? How did you know the gender of the two people involved? seeing as how the victim was wearing a costume at the time.
Oh,
Furthermore, I have another matter I'd like to inquire about. I'd very much like to know why you failed to mention the costume in your testimony.
oh, well, 'cause then there'd be no game.
I'm beginning to doubt if you really witnessed the murder at all. Oh god, you just wanted to be interrogated, didn't you?
But I'm telling you, I really did see it. I saw it with my very own eyes. From a seat in the second tier.
The second tier?
Hey, didn't you say you saw it right in front of you earlier? That was, you know, I was using the phrase in the metaphorical sense.
I see our witness still has a screw loose in the metaphorical sense.
The cushy seats in the second tier are reserved for hotshot VIPs. Which is exactly why I go there now and again to take a nap.
Were you even awake when this happened? Or were you sleeping? I can see how you could have gotten I can't see how you could have gotten a good look from there. It's so high up. Were you able to see even the victim's costume from way up there?
Well, I know I saw two people. But I couldn't really see what they looked like because they were in the stage's shadow.
Okay, hard to make out the killer and victim because they were in the stage's shadow.
My eyesight isn't what it used to be, you know.
That seems about as bad as the first game.
Not like when I was young, good men from 100 paces away walking down the street looks like. Of course, they also know Splash tried to make the movement on these. I wasn't cheerful, but judgmental.
Yeah, let's return to our investigation, shall we, Kay?
You got it. Damn it, I think Windbag's beating me this time.
Alright, investigating again with the stadium. This new silhouette of the victim is in a costume.
Silhouettes can change shape depending on the information I input.
Okay, here's my question. How does it know what the shape of a fucking blue badger is?
But Little Thief can recreate more than just people. So investigate away. We even find more info with which to make a more accurate sim.
Internet? It's 3D modeling a hologram, like... Alright, sounds like a plan.
This is amazing. Just feels the power of science.
Thanks to you, I'm able to proceed with my investigation once again. Thank you.
It was nothing. I'm just glad that science and I could be of service.
Am I implying there aren't Blue Badger models on the internet? Blue Badger models that are magically compatible with your software? Gonna go with real unlikely. I think I just skipped a line.
Pretty amazing how we can see the footprints. So, what's the secret behind that thing? Oh, you want to know? Here, you're calling it the manual. Yeah, very interesting. So, if I do this, I can avoid leaving footprints.
She can't seriously be trying to use the information to her advantage as a thief. Wait. Clearly everyone has a properly life-scale OBJ available. I hate it. Okay, so we got footprints to here. Anything else? Anything new? Anything new? So let's see about putting things together then. Alright, stage was packed up in the shadow of the stage, so the stage obviously was up at the time, which means... Well, I mean... we should be able to slap that together. Question is, what will it give us? We are in the Matrix after all. Ugh. All the models we download are chicken. Wait, what? If that woman's testimony is to be believed, the murder occurred before the stage was broken down. Oh, really? Apparently Emma was originally going to be the protagonist, but they decided that they went with Edgeworth because he was more popular. I feel kind of bad because the game did so badly over here. And consider if he's the more popular one, it did that badly here. The murder occurred before the stage was broken down.
Do you want me to input that bit of info into Little Thief?
Would have loved Emma being the pro tag. I'm pretty cool with Edgeworth actually being the pro tag. It's I disliked him a lot less by the end of the first game. I mean, initially, yeah, it's like we're just in opposition, but the later stuff put a very different spin on things. Yes, if you please.
Okay.
Okay, so the shooting positions were reversed. That explains their upward trajectory. One was up on the stage, the other was down below it, since obviously he couldn't be in it. There is clearly a contradiction here. Please, stop stealing my lines.
Oh, come on. It wasn't that hard to see it coming, even for a layman like me.
I suppose, in any case, it's not possible for the killer to have stood here in that way, because there was a very real stage set up in this spot at that time.
I told you I got it. Do you feel the need to explain everything?
It's kind of my job. Yes, well, in any case, we still need to resolve this unusual situation.
Isn't it obvious? The killer was on top of the stage, naturally. Right, Miss Oldbag?
Ah, yes, I remember now. The killer was standing on top of the stage.
Well, if she says it, then it definitely isn't.
See, now let me update the info in the simulation. Updating your firmware.
Investigation complete, but we know that's still wrong. I'm sorry, I latched onto that piece of information so long ago and it's starting to really bother me that we haven't used it.
Well, well, what have we here? A bunch of hooligans running amok, I see.
Grab the Y arrow and drag, but it's a Z upsetting! Agent Lang, how nice of you to join us.
Well, I can't have you going around messing up my crime scenes. You might find something that's like real evidence. I just realized my eyebrows are connected to my sideburns. That's kind of weird.
Agent Lang, we've discovered that the real scene of the murder is here, the stadium.
I see. Thanks. Don't really care though.
For what?
I'm just trying to show you my appreciation for all the time you saved me. Who knew that such a strange little toy could recreate a crime scene like that? Oh shit.
Dude is gonna steal it.
Little Thief is not a toy.
You too.
Sir. Why does Lang look like he's gonna throw someone in the volcano? Man, I cannot shake the feeling that he just looks like Raichu to me.
And there you have it, you see? Big boys like me don't need silly toys, little girl.
Deflated.
Now this is a recreation.
So what? Do you still intend to assert that Officer Meekins is the killer?
Of course. Even knowing that the crime took place here doesn't let him off the hook.
Agent Lang's logic. Gonna use that term real loose with him.
This is the real scene of the crime. Officer Meekins lay in wait for the victim on top of the stage. And when the victim finally showed, he shot him from on high. That's the truth your little recreation showed.
How far will you go to accuse Officer Meekins of the crime?
He's the most likely suspect we've got, especially given the situation with his gun.
Well, even if he is the killer, at least my recreation was on the mark.
You see? Thank you for understanding, my little crow girl.
I'm not some common crow. I'm the Yatagarasu, the Raven of Legend.
Unfortunately, your conclusion has yet to be tested, so let's see how well it holds up. If the logic leads to Meekins to be in jail, I'm fine with it. I mean, I would not say no to not having to deal with Meekins and his loudspeaker and his general personality and his horrifying sprites. No, actually, you know what? I'm totally okay with this after all. I don't actually have any counter argument. That sounds like a win. Agent Lang's logic. Alright, let's go with... Now, what I think... Yes, he shot him from on high, so I'm not even going to press. I'm just going straight for it. I'm going to cram this goddamned evidence down somebody's throat until they take it.
Objection!
Finally. I finally get to use it. I'm terribly sorry, Agent Lang. I should have warned you that a recreation is incomplete. You cut in quite unexpectedly, after all.
What's that supposed to mean?
Looking at him now, his hair reminds you of a bird. Yeah, he's kind of got the wings going for the hair. I honestly don't get wolf from him at all, really, outside of the fact that he has, like, pointy teeth. You can hear the satisfaction from the other side of the screen. Just like, finally! Finally! You said that the victim was shot by the killer from up above, correct? I hate to break it to you, but that's not possible. Like, why not? Recall Mr. Deacon's body, specifically where the gunshot wounds were located? Actually, I didn't get that good of a look. Oh, well then. The bullet entered Mr. Deacon in his abdominal region and exited his right shoulder. This is more consistent with an angled shot from beneath the victim.
Ow.
Then, yes, our recreation had the victim being shot at an angle from above.
A clear contradiction.
You're discounting your own conclusions?
No, this one point is the only flaw. This was the mistaken parameter in our recreation. The killer and victim's locations were swapped. Yes, the locations of the killer and victim were wrong.
I get it. I see what you're trying to say.
I believe the killer and the victim were standing opposite to what we initially thought. It was the victim who was on top of the stage as he was being shot by the killer. I will accept in all of this Magitech garbage that the reason that the badger is not animated to being down when he dies is because they didn't have any animations for blue badgers on the internet. If this is what happened, it would also explain the positioning of the gunshot wounds.
But then what about the footprints?
Since footprints don't lie, we can assume then that the killer also wore a costume. Of course, now we haven't really proven that the victim did, but we're still assuming.
Okay, I'll try using that data instead.
Mascots everywhere. Judging by the fact that both the killer and the victim were wearing costumes, I'd say it was a killing between the two kidnappers. That would be the most natural conclusion. Would you agree, Agent Lang? Yeah, badger on badger crime of a most heinous variety.
Well done, Mr. Prosecutor.
That's a great pose, though.
That alone doesn't clear Officer Meekins of the crime.
Another bit of proof.
I ask that you take another good look at the tire marks over there.
Does this mean Old Bag since she's in a badger costume? You know, if we shift the blame from Meekins to her, we could be free of her. Forevermore. And isn't that a win for everyone?
The 3 marks are indicative of the Blue Badger mobile. That story Officer Meekins told about that shop on wheels getting stolen was just a lie.
She'd haunt his ass.
Oh, Vegeta, I'm haunting you. Da-na-na-na-na.
Oh, God, no.
He drove the Blue Badger mobile here and committed the murder. Then he used the car to move the body to the garage in the Wild Wild West area.
Ghost old bag is even worse. Yeah, you know what? At least as long as she's alive, we can technically keep locked doors between us and her. You believe he moved the body with the car?
That's right. It was Officer Meekins himself who pointed us to the way he did it.
The three-tire tread marks are very telling. However, is the blue Badgermobile the only thing capable of creating such a pattern? I mean, no, because there's... I don't know that I specifically have... Yeah, I don't actually have anything specifically. Like, I don't have the pink one just sitting right over there in my list of evidence. So I guess we'll just keep pressing on everything.
Hold it!
It wasn't me. It was the one-armed badger. The tire marks?
Yes, the tire marks. The ones there behind the stage. They were hidden up until now by the various pieces of stage equipment. As for when they were made...
They must have been made after the rain had begun to fall, correct?
Yes, and probably around the same time as when the killer's footprints were made. The tires in that blue Badgermobile probably got pretty muddy because of that.
Oh, hang on. Did we... I believe we specifically called out when Kay had originally suggested that this had made the tracks. We called out that it did not actually have any mud on the tires, which sadly is not mentioned in the evidence itself. And I wouldn't say it's particularly clear from the photo. I'm glad I remember it being said. So we might have to... Well, it's just a different blue Badgermobile. How many blue Badgermobiles are there? So he was still assuming... Oh, let's keep pushing on for now.
I say it's the blue Badgermobile because, well, that's pretty obvious too.
3 marks are indicative.
Hold it!
3 tire marks. I have to agree that the blue Badgermobile has 3 tires.
Of course, the only thing in this park that could make those marks is that roving shop.
Objection!
There's another shop right over here. Are you forgetting that there are, in fact, 3 of them? You can't simply ignore the pink and the proto-Badgermobiles, Agent Lang.
Now go back!
And of course, I didn't say it couldn't be either of the other 2. But I see no reason to drag them into this just to complicate things.
Sir, do you understand the concept of evidence? Alright, we'll press on. The story about it being stolen was a lie. Of course, you have some sort of proof that it was all a lie, correct?
Of course not.
Well, that was blunt.
But suppose it is a lie. It would explain a lot of things. Like his movements and his whereabouts.
Drove the blue Badgermobile here and committed the murder. Let's go.
Hold it!
So you still claim the tire marks belong to the blue Badgermobile?
He must have arrived in the scene after the ground had become wet with rain. Officer Meekins committed the murder.
Use the car to move the body to the garage in the Wild Wild West area.
Hold it!
Okay, so I think we are going to use the blue Badgermobile evidence because we've got 2 other Badgermobiles. This is specifically the blue that we have information on, and we did comment during the original investigation that it does not have mud on the tires. So it's just a question of which line we're throwing that at. Hey, grats, Cubby. That's awesome. Calculus is awful. There are many kinds of math that are terrible but have been useful to me, and that was not one of them. Besides the blue Badgermobile, there are other ways the body could have been moved.
Now go back!
Recall what the Wild Wild West area looked like. Only the blue Badgermobile and Mr. Deacon's body were in the garage. I'd say that's proof.
I suppose if one were to look at that place, that would be the only logical conclusion. However, my experience tells me that the truth is usually not so easily found. Is there some sort of problem with Agent Lang's statement with regard to that scene? Looks like the only thing the car was selling was death, not dreams. Only if what Agent Lang believes turns out to be true. Retired tread marks are very telling. However, is the blue Badgermobile the only thing capable of creating such a pattern? Now it comes back to the only thing capable, he said. I don't believe I have access to anything that would specifically imply something else made it, but... Man, are we gonna go with the fact that there's no... Oh man, I'm trying to remember which line led to them talking about mud. Let's see, good look at the tire tracks, indicative of the Badgermobile. Shot being stolen was just a lie. Drove the Badgermobile here and committed the murder. Let me double check the press on this. Looking for the one where they talked about the weather. Badgermobile arrived on the scene after the ground had become wet with rain. Okay, that's the one I'm gonna try. And I really hope their offhand comment earlier about this not having mud on the tire still holds. Because it's not clear in the picture and it's not mentioned in the evidence itself. Sorry, Agent Lang, but that's an impossible tale.
And why is that?
Those tire marks could not have been left by Officer Meekin's blue Badgermobile. Yeah, music stops are good. There was the one time we were right, but the music didn't stop. That one threw me a little bit. But one look at the car would have told you so. What proves? Okay. Man, it's actually just a little bit mean that, maybe it's not so bad if you're just sitting down and playing in one continuous stretch, but that was like a brief line yesterday. And if you didn't like attach to it, I don't know that that would necessarily have completely stuck. That's what we're going for, because it's not mentioned anywhere in the evidence picture.
Take that!
Take a good look at the tires. There's not a single dollop of mud to be found on it.
Oh.
If this car had come to the backstage area and left those tire tracks, then the lack of mud on these tires stands out as very peculiar indeed.
Then how do you explain the tire tracks, genius?
Hey, I've got it. What about Miss Oldback's pink Badgermobile? Throw her under the bus for us, girl!
Oh, don't be ridiculous. I was sleeping the entire time in the second-tier seats.
The entire time? Indeed, I believe we can rule her out as someone related to the crime. However, there's yet one more roving store, as I recall. Oh, you mean the Proto Badger? God, that thing is so creepy. It belongs in the Funko Pop. That's right. There was one more parking space inside the garage. And it proves the existence of a Proto Badgermobile. Agent Lang, I suggest you find this Proto Badgermobile post-haste. The mugshot's even creepier. It's just, oh, it's so bad. Do we even have Proto in here as a... Oh, we don't. There must still be some sort of incriminating evidence in it. Hey, did you hear something? I don't get the feeling you're going to be Ernesto. Yeah. Oh, God. So, let me guess. In on your own kidnapping, things went sideways, and now magically... Oh, we found him! Look at that! Quelle convenience. Not Ernest. Sorry, Lance, his kid. What kind of voice do we give to the kid? He looks kind of like a douche, but what should we do for him? Krillin? Krillin go to... I mean, we've already got Meekins with Krillin. Yamcha? Don't suggest a voice that's not on the list. I don't have a voice that sounds like a smoking crater in the Death of Dreams.
Oh, wait. But not that.
That was the point. We'll just give him no voice at all. He's just dead. Anything stuffy? I mean, I suppose we could do something that's even more VIP than Edgeworth normally is, but mixed with a little bit of just surfer douche. We could give that a try. He looks like the type. Yeah, sure. Let's give it a shot. I don't even know what the hell to call that one. I'm just gonna label it as VIP Douche Boy Surfer. Help me. The thud. Are you alright?
Well, this is something. Looks like we found our kidnapping victim. Where were you all this time?
Wild West. With kidnappers. It was in the room next to the one I was being held in. Ran away using underground and got lost. Very important dude, bro. The kidnappers. Oh my god, I realized. At its roots, it's a bad Keanu Reeves impression.
What is it? I can understand what you're trying to say.
The kidnappers escaped wearing costumes.
Did you see the faces of your kidnappers?
No, I didn't see their faces, but two. One was a woman. Huh. Beverly Hills douchebag. I mean, that's just a given. A woman. Chad Chattington III. Esquire.
Quite an important piece of testimony.
Yeah, why do I get the feeling we won't find this whoop? Man, there's a couple ways this plays out. One, that he was legitimately kidnapped by Oliver Deacon and the Ring Pop Girl. Alternatively, he's in on the whole thing. There is no woman. Though we do have, no, you know, we do have 3 costumes unaccounted for. So I'm not entirely convinced he's not in on it and just setting everyone else up now that shit's gone sideways.
Hey, what are you guys doing? Stop standing there and get your cops on this already. I'll even let you guys have what the kid said just now. Consider it a gift.
Man, I did not realize. Oh my god. How did I not realize that the freaking X on his face is like the weirdest shades design ever? Also, I love these two doing this in unison.
Now, are you going to get out of my crime scene, or am I going to have to get rough?
Again?
You're nothing but a big bully. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, let's go.
Oh, no, not you. You're a very important witness for my case. I'm not about to let you get away that easily.
Don't count on me to testify because I won't, not for you. That's right, I won't either. You hear me, you young whippersnapper?
But no, you please testify for him. It'll be so much more helpful.
Hey, calm down. There's no need for all this hostility. I just want to take a statement from each of you. I'm not going to rough either of you up. I give you my word. Sheena might, though. Come now, fair maidens. What do you say? Will you cooperate?
Fair maidens? Oh my, you little rascal, you sure know the way into a woman's heart.
Lang Ji says, wine 'em and dine 'em, bitch. I mean, the passage of time is but a fleeting moment, and a lady is young forever.
Trying to outdo my edgy boo with your fancy schmancy sayings. Let's get this over with. So we're clear, I'm only interested in you and giving you my statement.
Sure, just as soon as Mr. Prosecutor leaves us be.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth.
I'm going. thank God. Get me out of here. To be continued. March 13th, 2:34 p.m., Wild Wild West area. I hate inconsistent schedules, Harley Marie. And the advantage is it would still be a consistent schedule at least. It would just be consistent when I'm not there, too. Looks like we got the boot again. With Lance saved, the focus of the investigation will shift solely onto the murder. You mean the infighting between the kidnappers? Yes, and also the identity of the remaining kidnapper. Oh, that sounds like Shake Bear. Oh, Miles, my boy. Tell me it's true. Tell me you've really found my boy. Yes, Mr. Romano, we found him earlier in the stadium. God, still not sure giving him the Russian was the right one. She weirds me out. Then my little Lance is unhurt. He's not exactly the picture of perfect health, but his life is not in danger. He's being questioned right now by Agent Lang.
Poor Lance, it must have been so horrible for him. Locked up like a thing you lock up.
Miles, my boy, I can't thank you enough. It was nothing. Fairly literally, I didn't really do anything. He just kind of showed up. I'm still in shock over what happened to Oliver. But I have to say I'm relieved that Lance is alright. Oh, that's right. I mustn't forget to pass this on to Lance as soon as the police are finished with him. Good God. What? That looks horrifying. That looks like a murder message, not a love letter. Letter? Right, like, that writing is just... I want to read it in Satan voice. Oh, the way Lance is being chased after by women reminds me of someone I know. I almost can't believe you received yet another love letter, you know? Here, take a look for yourself. Isn't this a breach of confidentiality? It's a very simple love letter. Oh, hey, let me see. Oh, that's really weird.
My dear Lance Omino, may I come see you again? Your beloved Viola.
Might be a bit dangerous to Satan it. I'm gonna Satan it based on how it reads. That's from a loan company, Tenderlender. Looks more like a collection bill to me.
Well, that makes it all the scarier.
All right, the sender is the tender. The sender is the tender lender. It doesn't really seem like a love letter then. Let's talk about Lance. He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me. He loves me not. Oh, it is 12th one. Oh, you cannot give up, Lauren. Just one more try. Excuse me, but I can't help but feel a bit sorry for all the flowers you've gone through. I suppose, if they were mere, then please do not be creepily licking on that thing. I believe you said you were Lance's girlfriend when we first met, correct? Yes, I am, but oh, it is not like we both think of each other as lovers. But he did give me rings, so I guess we're not just friends either. I mean, because this isn't just any ordinary ring. It tastes so sweet when you lick it. It's so wonderful. You mean to tell me that he gave you a lollipop ring? So which is it? Have you guys not decided if you're going out, or is it just one-sided? No, the point during that period ring song would be to basically be down to the barest minimum, which is just... I would just do VC. Otherwise, I want all of my time and attention off my show, strictly on the show he and I run together, so I can focus on other things. It's candy ring, yep. At first, my first thought when I saw it was like, wow, ring pop? Or is that just meant to be a really huge rock on that thing? Then she started licking it. I really hope hoped it was a ring pop at that point. Decided, shouldn't the parties involved naturally just know?
My father used to work for Mr. Romano, and so Lance and I grew up together. I said it out loud.
I don't see how that's anything to be embarrassed about. So your father was an employee of the Amino Group, and what did he do?
His job was to fly around the world. On Pegasus.
Pegasus.
Well, Pegasus was the name of airplane. The airplane belonged to company.
God, her face.
You had me there for a second. But now, it's all changed. My father is not around anymore.
Oh, I see.
About 10 years ago, he rode in Pegasus off to somewhere, and never returned.
Riding Pegasus to whereabouts unknown. Sounds like the stuff legends are made of.
It's been so long. I do not think I would recognize him if we were to ever meet again.
Really? Really? Interesting thing to say.
I'm so sorry, Lauren. But I will not give in to sadness. I have to live. Yes, Lauren, live.
You strange, strange girl. About this incident?
Incident, but is not kidnapping already over and dealt with? I've been here whole time, so I'm afraid I do not know much about any other incident.
How did you come to know that Lance had been kidnapped?
Oh, it's because of women's intuition, yes.
You based everything on that.
I know everything when it comes to my Lance. It's really strange. I really must be destiny, yes.
She started fantasizing again.
So, what are you going to do now, Mr. Edgeworth?
We already established there's a good chance that the killer is the other kidnapper. It's my duty to figure out who this other person is. I believe there is one location that might hold a clue or two.
Ah, going back into the hideout. I mean, the isolation room is where I was from. I think we want to go into their end of it.
The obvious location is the kidnapper's hideout.
But we're still not allowed in, remember?
Agent Lang and his men should be done with this area. In that case, there's no harm in asking that officer over there to let us in. Hey buddy, let me in. What do you have to report?
Sir, nothing unusual or out of the ordinary, sir.
Where have I heard such redundancy before? Oh yes, Meekins. Is it possible for you to let us take a look around inside?
Sir, roger, sir.
That was surprisingly hassle-free. Are you certain? Didn't Agent Lang order you not to allow me in?
Sir, that's true, sir, but Detective Gumshoe asked me personally to let you in, sir. And I couldn't refuse a request from him.
Wow, looks like Detective Gumshoe has a following.
Furthermore, I was asked to give this document to you, sir.
What is this? The man in this picture. Isn't this Mr. Oliver Deacon?
But the name here says Colin Deveray.
That's the same name as the one on the back of the pendant. It appears that Colin Deveray was his real name. What's this? He was convicted in a case 10 years ago and sent to prison.
Penny Dent Prison. What? Then what was he doing here?
Apparently he broke out of jail and then just vanished. He must have become Oliver Deacon to cover up the fact that he was an escaped felon.
Yes, Gumshoe has respect, apparently.
Not from us, but from someone.
Details Oliver Deacon's real name and history. Now I'm not sure what's going on anymore.
Yep, Penny Dent. Is there some sort of link between the victim's past and the current case?
Right, penitent or pendant, but it kind of works for both.
These police documents are rather detailed. I should take the time to give them a thorough read eventually. That's fine, let's focus on one thing at a time, starting with the kidnapper's hideout.
Yeah, agreed. We should investigate first, think later.
More than thinking things through, I think you should try remembering things first. Now then, if you could please unlock the door, officer.
It was locked up until a little while ago, but since then the door's been wide open, sir.
I'm not sure I follow what it is you're saying. Care to explain it in a bit more detail?
Sir, the door was locked down tight when they went to check out the room. So they got about 10 officers to help out and break the door down, sir.
I see. I guess that means I got Agent Lang's leftovers. Well, let's see what we find.
March 13th, 2:55 p.m., Kidnapper's Hideout. Ooh, they got coffee.
So this is where the kidnappers planned their foul deed.
Oh, you were tied up for a while in the room next door.
Okay, please, must you bring that up again? Now then, down to business. There might still be some clues left in this room.
Well, we see at least... I can see just right here. We've got at least one of the suits.
Let's try to find out what we can of the other kidnapper's identity.
But I mean, the most important thing here is the coffee, so...
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny, and there are, in fact, 3 cups of coffee. Which would imply 3 people involved. Which would imply... Yeah, dude, Lance is fucking involved, and we know it. Cheap styrofoam cups.
Looks like only 3 cups were used.
Looks like it was poured today. I wonder what this key is to.
You got me.
It reminds me of the key we found in the other room.
That's it. This must be the key for one of those trapdoors.
That wasn't a trapdoor. You only call it one because you quite literally jumped into it.
Hey, but isn't that what you're supposed to do when you see one?
No. I am not having this conversation with you. Folding chairs, and by the looks of it, they were probably used by the kidnappers.
There are 3 chairs set around the table.
Everything's in 3s. A poster of Gatewaterland is stuck on the wall. Intrigue, fun, prestige. Gatewaterland has it all, and it's waiting for you.
Well, it definitely has some intrigue going on right now.
It's not especially catchy, is it?
I mean, it seems to have its fans. Anything other than the cups and the chairs? Okay, nothing else that jumps out at the moment, so maybe we're good on that. I thought I had something for a moment. No, it's just the chairs again. Okay. Let's go look at other things. I wonder if I can piece these together to get any information about there being 3 kidnappers.
A common denominator between the cups and folding chairs is the number 3. Speaking of which, the number of missing costumes is also 3.
Wait, but I thought there were only 2 kidnappers.
Indeed, something isn't adding up, literally. Is it possible there was a 3rd kidnapper that Lance didn't see?
No, because it's fucking Lance trying to get money from his dad. I mean, come on, he called him daddy on the phone. Totally set the old man going. Watch out, Mr. Edgeworth.
It's a broken mirror. It probably came from the haunted house. Why is this here? Are they planning to repair it? Unused folding chairs lean against the wall in their folded state.
Wow, whoever lined these up did it perfectly. They're not even a single hair off. I feel bad using these because it'd be like stealing the perfection away.
I suspect it's more like you wouldn't want to be the one to put them away.
Alright, now we can check on this costume.
This must be where they dispose of old and worn out costumes.
That's so sad.
It would seem they throw the costumes away in pieces.
Okay, trash bin for old and useless costumes. No information about the costume itself, though. Oh, they have barrels like these just outside.
Yes, and?
Well, I know I already asked you when we were out there, but... if these are real, what would you put in them?
There's an expectant gleam in her eyes that I am about to dash.
And for the Atelier fans, barrel!
A sign advertising the photo rally, something I have absolutely no interest in.
Yeah, but I do, and I'm gonna get my hands on the rest of the Badger family. You'll see. God, that animation's fucking adorable.
She definitely brings a decidedly different atmosphere to a criminal investigation. Barrel roll. Beyond this door
Is where the kidnappers held you after getting the jump on you.
must you keep reminding me.
But it's the room where I got to see your awesome no face.
I love the look on her face right now. You didn't need to remind me of that mortifying moment either. I had something else. Okay, just the one I've already got.
Hey, there's a trapdoor in this room too.
It's not a trapdoor, it's an entrance to an underground passage, Kay.
I know that.
The door leading to the outside world was locked, so Lance must have escaped his prison through here. His prison, but where is a prison here? The door is thoroughly broken thanks to the police who forced it open. Alright, we must investigate all the things, including this broke-ass sword.
Looks like a sword. A broken sword.
Strange. Why would it be broken like that? Found lying next to the door, broken cleanly in half. I wonder if it was being used to anchor the door at all. Swords don't usually break on their own.
That's true.
Alright, then let's think about it this way. Maybe it broke when someone was trying to use it for or on something. Hypotheticals aren't going to get us anywhere. Perhaps we should think more on this later. I don't have anything related to the... Yeah. I wonder if it was anchoring the door in some fashion or anchoring something else.
The doorknob handle thingy is looking pretty beat up.
I suppose that's what happens when 10 officers break their way in with brute force.
Hey, that's odd. The lock on this is completely fine. Look, not a single dent.
How is that possible after what that officer told us?
Yeah, if the lock had been in use when the door was busted down, the lock itself should be completely wrecked.
So the lock on the door leading to the outside is undamaged. How can that be? There we go. I'm going to assume that they were basically blocking the door using the sword. And it's a bit strange the police had to force their way into an unlocked room. One look at the pristine door lock and anyone could see this was not in use at the time.
But the police outside said it took 10 men to get it open.
A door that was locked tight despite it being not locked at all. It can only be because of this.
Oh, you mean...
Yes. It was used to jam the door. Here, take a look at the door handle. Do you see how the handle is completely destroyed?
So that's how the sword broke.
There we go. It was used to jam the handle to the hideout's door. I thought we might uncover the true identity of the kidnappers, but instead we've only uncovered more questions that need to be answered. Well that's creepy. Oh, damn. You know what, Sione? This would have been the place to do the cliffhanger bit. Kill it, right? Just whack-a-mole right now. What is it? You know, we gave that thing a voice earlier.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, am I correct?
What are you doing suddenly popping out of the secret entrance like that?
This is an underground passage used by staff members, sir. We badgers also make use of it in our duties.
Look, why don't you get out of there first, and then we'll talk, okay?
Oh, I beg your pardon, miss.
Oh god, the music.
Proto-Badger, get. Alright, only one more to go.
What are you getting all excited about?
Did you forget? The photo rally, duh.
Did you forget 3 stolen costumes? Might even be the murderer? Who knows right now? I mean...
See, look, now all I have to do is get a picture of the bad badger, and I'm done.
Ah, yes, I vaguely recall a contest or something of that sort.
Oh, it's gone. But where did it go?
What happened? What's wrong?
A bad badger costume is missing, sir.
Oh, is that all? Well, it's missing because the kidnappers stole it.
I heard about how they were stolen, but they said that only 3 of the costumes have been taken.
Ah. Is he saying that more than 3 of them are gone? So possibly no one was meant to be playing Bad Badger today? Mr. Proto Badger, please tell us a little more about these costumes you use. And what did you mean by a Bad Badger costume is missing?
Man, just what I said, sir. We are 1 Bad Badger short. Counting the spares, we have 2 of each costume on hand at all times.
Okay, so because one of them is walking around in park, the other should be in that room.
Well, actually, both of them should be in that room.
What do you mean?
Normally, we do not use the Bad Badger costumes. In fact, we only use them during a certain event at a set time each day. It is the stage show where the Bad Badger wreaks havoc around the park. And then the badgers must work together to apprehend them, sir.
Pretty sure Proto Badger hears the bellboy from Phoenix Wright 1 with how he talks. Oh god. What was his name and what the hell voice did we give him? I'm speechless that such a show exists.
Well, sir, I was just trying to explain to you that this is the only time we use that costume.
His name was Bellboy? Do I have a Bellboy listed here? Is it literally just Bellboy? Oh, I don't have an entry for that, so I have no idea what we did with him. Then doesn't it make it near impossible to take a picture of the Bad Badger?
Personally, I cannot believe that it's this close to showtime and there is no costume. Oh dear, what am I to do, sir?
All this basically means is that the kidnapper stole 4 costumes in total. Then, are you saying there are 4 kidnappers?
No,
I don't think that's very likely. Oh? Recall the costumes for a minute. The stolen ones, you mean? What proves that a 4th kidnapper does not exist? I would have said the fact that we had the head, but 4 costumes were stolen. I'm not actually sure what they're going for here, because the only thing that makes me think that you can imply that these... So there should be 3 that are in use out there, which would be those 3. And then that would be 4 costumes that are stolen. We've used the head in the box before, but I don't see how that would prove that there aren't 4 kidnappers. Did say one of the kidnappers was a woman? I don't think that means she necessarily has to dress in the pink one. I mean... actually really not certain what they're asking about here, because the only thing that I would go to is the fact that the head for one of these is still just in the room with us, remember? Okay, well let's think here. Is there anything different about these boxes? For? Yeah, Megan's and Windbag are in costume, that's for sure. There should be, I mean, we're talking to Proto, so assuming that's not an issue, that accounts for all 3 costumes on the top shelf. Yeah, the implication is they would have taken Brulu, 2 Bads, Blue, and Proto. And that would be 4 costumes. That would imply 4 kidnappers. I don't see what they're going for that would imply not actually getting 4 out of that. And the only thing that really is there to even point at that is different is this. And if that's it, I'm really curious to see how they justify it. If you had 4 people and you wanted to steal a 4th costume, When you naturally go for the full set and steal a Pink Badger costume instead, that is terrible fucking logic. Yeah, that makes sense. And yet the kidnappers decided to steal another Bad Badger. I believe the culprits needed 2 Bad Badger costumes, but the question is why? That's kind of a leap, assuming that they would just do a full set because you needed 4 costumes as opposed to just taking 4 costumes that are available. That is a bit of a leap in an assumption. Alright, we're done talking to him. What are we left with here? Costume pieces in the unaccounted for Bad Badger. Well, let's see if it's in the pieces. Also, good God, that badger really looks terrible. Also, probably because people might find something weird with 2 bads, given there's only supposed to be 1 at any time. I mean, they've already, by taking any of them, made it so there are 2 people out there. Who's to say they're going to leave as a group, either? Splitting up would make much more sense. It would be harder to tell that there's 2 of anything out there. The second Bad Badger costume. I believe it may be closer at hand than we think. What do you mean? Okay, now we can take a closer look at it. The costume in the trash. Wouldn't you say that it's wearing some very telltale pants? Hey, you're right. Let's get it out of there and take a look. As I suspected, it's a Bad Badger costume. Is there a hole in the hand so the person could actually grip the gun properly? Because obviously you're not going to be able to pull the trigger with those mitts. Well, minus the head. Well, we have a head. I'm very curious about the hole. Oh, look, its hand is hurt. It looks more like something that was ripped off of it. I wonder why this Bad Badger's costume's right hand is torn up like that. Maybe it's a flesh wound from a fight with the Blue Badger? I always knew the Blue Badger was one ferocious beast. Yeah, I somehow doubt that even real badgers are as bloodthirsty as that, Kay. You ever met a cabinet badger? Can't examine anything about the feet. Now, in our... I really feel like that's... This is something ripped off, but I really feel like that's likely to be a hole so you could... Well, he... This should be the one that's full of blood, though. It wouldn't have been the one that was shooting. Unless they disposed of it after. Blue Badger plushed him to buy and send it to you. Oh, God. I have received some strange things in my time. Is this connected to... Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to look at just the... Can I just point out? I'm going to see if I can finally use this, the head that we have, to kind of complete the costume.
Eureka!
Oh, no, he's talking about contradictions. I don't think that's necessarily... This is a clear contradiction of the facts. What are you talking about? Are you going to fill me in or not? No, wait, maybe it's not quite so clear. Never mind. Might not be. We're good. It's fine. The real reason we have anyone with us in this game is so that Edgeworth can be embarrassed into failure ultimately. Okay, so no, we are looking for a contradiction, in which case the head is irrelevant. Well, let's see what we've got then. Ah, the gun. Okay. So the gun is attached to... Oh man, so it must be usable to some degree then. Okay, so we are going for that. We finally get to use that piece of evidence that we've been sitting on. The plush has a voice box that plays this theme when you squeeze it. Oh my god.
Eureka!
I believe what we have here is an inconsistency.
Between what?
Look carefully. Our costume's not holding something in the right hand that it should be.
Oh, the gun.
Precisely. The Bad Badger was designed to always hold a gun in his right hand. However... You there, did you remove the gun from this Bad Badger's right hand?
No, I did not, sir. The gun is supposed to be securely attached to the costume.
As I thought, the rip itself confirms my hypothesis that the gun was forcibly removed. Mr. Proto-Badger, the gun is of course not a functioning weapon, correct?
Absolutely not, sir. It is just a model gun. However, it can fire blanks. We need to use them for the stage show.
It seems our kidnappers also had a need for the model gun, my dear costume friend. Alright, missing a model gun ripped from the Bad Badger costume, capable of firing blanks. Interesting. I think we're about done with this room.
So what's next?
Well, we found a few answers. But there's still a few things left that we have to ask a certain person about. Let's go, Kay.
Aw, we've totally accepted her as her sidekick at this point.
March 13th, 3:34 p.m. at the Wild Wild West area.
Meh. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. You gotta hurry, sir. Come on.
And what is it this time, Detective?
Yeah, they found that blue badger costume down in front of the main gate, sir.
What?
Isn't that what one of the kidnappers was wearing?
Yeah, bingo. That's why you gotta come to the main gate with me right now. Yeah, we hurry. Might still be able to get there before Wolf Boy does, sir.
Alright, let's make haste to the main gate. That's the vocal tick that gives him away. Alright, let us save progress. Final confrontation former. Oh, is there going to be final confrontation ladder as well? March 13th, 3:45 p.m. Gate Waterland main gate. Where's the costume, Detective Gumshoe?
Meh, just on the other side of the fountain, sir.
It does appear to be empty. Oh, but there's another pendant in it.
Was it out here in the open all along?
No, it was discovered in the tall grass back there. I moved it out here in order to examine it more thoroughly. You know, by fucking with the crime scene. It's what we do.
Then let's get down to it. I won't rest until I've expected all the things. Now, what do we have here? Oh, do they go together? Pegasus. They go together. Oliver Deacon's their dad.
Oh, it's another pendant. That's 2 treasures in one day. How lucky is that? Hey, this pretty baby's made of platinum silver too.
Another pendant on top of the one we found on Mr. Deacon? Is it possible these two... I don't know who's telling me to hold it, but I'm going to assume it's probably Popo showing up.
Hold it right there. Oh yes, it totally is. Hands off, Mr. Prosecutor. You sure know how to cross the line, don't you?
Him again.
The pendant, huh? This is a very decisive piece of evidence.
How can you tell?
Look here and read off what you see.
Lauren? Oh, hey, it's a name that's engraved on this.
Lauren D, as in Devereaux. Deveray. It's shaped like a pair of wings. Lauren D is engraved on the back. I think it says Lauren D is engraved on the back, but they've already identified it as Miss Pops' pendant. I guess it's a good thing I gave a Russian voice afterward, apparently.
Uh-huh. We have you now, Miss Kidnapper.
No, you do not understand. Oh, Nolly, I can't believe you're one of my kidnappers. Lance. Those glasses never noticed. What, the ones Lang wears with the utterly bizarre frames? You're kidding. Miss Pops was one of the kidnappers? Yes. It was me. I held Lance hostage. So Miss Pops is one of the kidnappers. But even knowing that, I can't call this case solved or over.
Hey guys, case closed. Get the car ready, and I mean the special one for this young lady.
Hold it!
Again, Mr. Prosecutor? What is it this time?
Are you proposing that Miss Pops is also the culprit in the murder case? What happened? I thought Officer Meekins was your suspect.
We found it.
Found what?
That officer's gun. He literally dropped it in the middle of a thick patch of grass. Kind of an idiot. Your country's police are a sham. Just look at how careless they are. Meh, what are you calling it? The officer's gun didn't show signs of having been fired, so it can't be the murder weapon.
So Officer Meekins has been cleared of all charges. I see. How unfortunate. I noticed them on his sprite, but like I just mentally processed it as like a scar on his face without ever really noticing the scar was never there when we talked to him. But yeah, those are weird shades.
And that's when a brand new suspect comes walking onto the scene. The murder only happened because the kidnappers started fighting amongst themselves. As I recall, it was you who said that, right, Mr. Prosecutor?
I don't like you using my words against me.
Miss Pops, did you really kill Mr. Deacon?
Yes, I kill him.
I can't believe it.
Well, how about that then? Thanks for the confession. I guess we're done here.
Objection!
Agent Lang, it's much too early to declare the case closed. But she is literally confessing, though, so that really does sound like take her to the station, stick her in a room, talk it through, get the rest of the info. I don't actually know why I'd be interrupting at this point. It doesn't make much sense.
Look at you, so sure of yourself. You've got the culprit's own confession and some very incriminating evidence. What more could you ask for?
Miss Lauren Pops. Yes. I want to hear it from you. Tell me your side of all that happened today, from the kidnapping to the murder.
I am kidnapper and killer. Is that not enough?
It's fine if you're the one behind everything, but only if that is the truth. Now then, will you tell us the truth? Or is there some reason why you can't?
I've had a change of heart. I think I'd enjoy seeing you sulk away as the losing mutt. Alright, you heard me. Let's hear about all the evil deeds you committed today.
Are the kidnapper though still alive? Yes, and that is information you could easily get at the station from someone who is confessing. It actually doesn't make a ton of sense that we'd be interrupting at this point. Miss Pops' confession.
The one who came up with kidnapping plan was Butler, Mr. Deacon. Knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Romano would pay anything to get Son back, after all. Everything going according to plan, but as soon as we get the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me.
There, are you satisfied? She just confessed to her crimes a second time. At least you have the guts to admit what you've done. I can at least respect that much.
Miss Pops, is what you said really the truth? Man, it's hard to take me seriously with that background. Just it's undermining my authority a little bit.
Yes, is truth.
If that is the truth, it certainly isn't the whole truth. And nothing but the truth. Because there's something that seems a bit too improbable in her confession. Alright, our rebuttal. Let me do a quick look at what we actually have for our evidence, and then, Alright, so, our pamphlet, I don't know what we're gonna do with that yet. We've got the head, the photo rally, the Bible, okay. Stolen costumes. which hasn't actually been updated. It should be updated because they stole 4. Alright, shot from the low trajectory. The pendant. Now we have the other pendant. The mobile shop on wheels. Likely wearing one. Yep, Victim's costume. Creepy tender lender loan company, which basically is why Lance kidnapped himself to get money from Daddy to pay off his debts, I imagine. The dossier on Mr. Deveray. Stole a gun from a guard during his escape, it actually says, so that might explain where his firearm comes from. Thought I might head for where his wife and sole daughter are, but despite surveillance has yet to show up. Alright, the jammed handle, the missing model gun. And the pendant. Gonna take a closer look just in case. Lauren D is engraved. I see that they wrote out her first name, but why just the D? Maybe it's the result of poor planning. I guess. Well, at least if I had to shorten my name, I would make it K. Faraday. That way, even if you just sounded it out, it'd still say my name, K. Faraday. I suppose if I had to do the same, I would abbreviate it as M. Edgeworth. Medgeworth. Hold on, I think you should abbreviate it as M.E. Get it? I'm not a medical examiner. Who would have thought this little pendant could stir up such a strange conversation? It's only one wing, though. Which makes me wonder if there's a second one. It's a pendant in the shape of a pair of wings. Has a rather nice aesthetic to it. Hey, nice to see that even you can appreciate its beauty. Things made of platinum silver tend to have a nice feeling about them, you know? I was only talking about its shape, okay? Oh, is that what you're talking about? But, you know. If we're talking about wing shapes, I think the brooch on my scarf is way cooler. That's not made of platinum silver, is it? It's handmade, okay? So, like, I'm sorry it's not made of the expensive stuff. She made that by herself? It's incredibly well crafted. I'm gonna take a closer look at the other one. Okay, no. Given the that this is also flat on the one side, unlikely to have a second wing. It'll just be one piece. Well, 2 pieces together. The victim's pendant, which is shaped like a horse. It's got a real dignified look on its face. Makes it worth all the more. Oh no, Mr. Edgeworth. What, did you find an important piece of evidence? This is made of platinum silver. That makes this thing super valuable. I've seen this type of jewelry at a lot of stores before, so I know when I see it. Okay, if you ever laid so much as a finger on those pieces of jewelry. But me? I'd never do something like that. Is it possible that she has never wanted to steal from a jewelry store before? The name Colin Deveray is engraved here. I really admire people who carve their own names into a pendant. Oh, and why would that be? You have no imagination, Mr. Edgeworth. Did you ever think that maybe people want to have their loved ones always nearby? It's not as if I have a wedding band and I have no interest in accessorizing. The cravat will do. I suppose. Jewelry stores don't contain truth. Fair enough. I suppose. Anyway, you know what? Oh, wrong person. I suppose. Anyway, you know what? More than wearing flashy accessories, I'd rather be engraving my name into every treasure I can find all around the world. A sign of affection is one thing, but blatant vandalizing is a little bit different. Alright. Let's just press on what she's got to say.
Hold it!
How well did you know the victim? I have spoken with him only a few times at Lance's house. Oh, get some sleep, Phonic. Rest well, man. A few times? That's it? Yes. If they only met a few times, I don't see how they could have trusted each other. If you hardly ever talked, then how could he trust you not to steal his plan?
Not so fast!
That's completely irrelevant. He was planning to betray her from the very beginning. Which is why I chose someone he wasn't especially close to. Isn't that right, Sheena?
You know, we never gave her a voice. And if anyone, she seems like she'd have the Russian voice more.
So I guess I will give her a deeper Russian voice. Yes, however, Mr. Deacon made very poor choice. Was she not German? No, she's only ever had one line prior to this. The German was Emma. In the end, he was killed by one he intended to betray himself.
I bet he didn't see that one coming.
Alright, we knew we could get rich by holding Lance
Hold
hostage.
it!
Don't tell Phoenix that Miles has no rings. This is not valid information.
You knew? How did you know something like that?
Oh no, what should I do?
Okay, what's wrong with her now?
Oh, come on, isn't it obvious? You're making your scary face again, that's why. Why don't you try asking her in a nicer, more gentle way?
Yes, she has a ring pop. She occasionally licks it and it kind of creeps me out.
Oh, stop it, Lauren. You are always like this. You always fall for stern-looking one. And it is why you'll always be unhappy. Or maybe that's it, and she's been bewitched by your icy glare.
Mind your own business, Kay. Now then, Miss Pops, let's continue with your testimony.
Oh, you mean you shouldn't buy him a ring, you should get him a new cravat.
But he already has one that's so glorious.
Oh, yes, of course. Mr. Romano will pay anything to get Sun back after all.
Hold it!
Express. Why did you believe that?
Anyone who knows Mr. Amano would think the same. I bet Lance is the old man's greatest treasure.
Don't steal him. I suppose he would be to a doting father like Mr. Amano.
I always figured it was it too, and I was always envious of Lance for it. Oh, because your dad's...
Oh, honey. Did you murder your daddy without realizing it? Did he betray his daughter without realizing it? Fun.
I got this pendant from father.
Edgeworth will always need extra cravats.
And I believe as long as I have this, I will find father again someday. He will welcome me into his arms, riding on back of Pegasus.
That pendant, she must truly believe it to be the wings of Pegasus. Everything's going according to plan. Got the money.
Hold it!
Would you mind telling us a little about the plan itself?
Well, first, we capture Lance. Oh, how'd you do that? Well, Mr. Deacon did that on his own, so I don't quite know.
Uh-huh.
Here I thought you knew how to steal people away.
I shudder to think what she would do with such knowledge.
Sorry, I really do not know, but somehow Mr. Deacon able to contain him. All we had to do after that was wait for ransom to be paid, but...
Deacon turned on me and tried
Hold it!
Why do you think he did?
I have no idea. Maybe he planned on doing so from very beginning. Miss Pops.
Wait, Mr. Deacon planned to kill Miss Pops from the very beginning? Was that ever really likely to happen? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Was that likely to happen? Trying to think if there is anything I have on me. I mean, okay. I was gonna say I have on me that means that was unlikely to be the case, but really the only thing I have is if they're gonna let me draw the correlation between the pendant, the Pegasus, all that stuff now, this would be the answer. I'm sorry, but I don't think what you just claimed is all that likely.
I'm sorry, what now?
I don't think Mr. Deacon would have ever been capable of killing you.
But why? We were total strangers. It's not uncommon for people to kill each other over
Hold
money.
it!
Miss Pops, you really are clueless, aren't you?
What do you mean?
You never knew what your role in the kidnapping was, nor do you know who you really are. But I do, and I can show you with this piece of evidence. This proves Mr. Deacon wouldn't have been able to bring himself to kill Miss Pops. Ah, okay. I'm going to assume that I feel like this is the point where we've got to bring up the pendant specifically, but yeah, okay, it's got Colin Devery on it, we've got Lauren D on the other one. I think this is the piece they want to prove it. We could... Arguably, we could use the stuff that mentioned his other name, but I think the pendant has come up in this conversation. It's got to be the correct pick, I think.
Take that!
Why are you showing this to me?
So what about the pendant?
This horse pendant, along with this piece of evidence, shows who you really are. Along with this piece of evidence. Okay, so it is a twofer. It's got to be the two pendants together. The two Ds.
Take that!
These two pendants resemble each other, wouldn't you agree?
Hey, harmless kitty, how's it going?
Hey, right, they're the same color and they're even made of the same material. I believe that these two pendants are actually one. I'm sorry, what now? Shall we give it a try? I actually thought they were ones I was going to wind up having to, like, you know, stick together in my head, but, like...
It's totally Pegasus.
But why does pendant match up with Mr. Deacon's? You're a smart lady. I'm sure you can imagine why that might be. No, that cannot be.
So the two make a set. It's just another trinket. It's not as though this changes anything.
You lack imagination, Agent Lang. Very well, I'll show you with this evidence. This is the piece of evidence that gives meaning to the Pegasus pendant. Okay, I feel like now we've got to get to the dossier. Well, that specifically says... It specifically mentions the sole daughter. Is that sufficient, though? Yeah, it's the only other thing that's even remotely related to those things that we're carrying. So I think we've got a detailed message of who he actually is, blah blah blah.
Take that!
Oliver Deacon was just an alias for this man. His real name was Colin Devery, the name that is etched on the horse pendant.
What? An alias?
I suppose he had to hide the fact that he was a felon somehow in order to live. And it makes sense given what is written in Mr. Devery's dossier. What I really wanted to point out was this. This specific section is what reveals the true meaning. Oh, that didn't even... Okay, well, it just popped by without me actually finishing it, but... Well, actually, go back. Reveals the true meaning behind the pendants, yeah. I'm gonna go for Soul Daughter, because I don't see what else we'd be going for in this particular bit of information.
Take that!
Mr. Devery had one daughter, and her name was Lauren Pops. It is lie, person was not my father. He couldn't come out and tell you he was your father because he was in hiding. However, I believe he was trying to secretly watch over you. Do you still believe that a man like that could kill the daughter he was separated from? Or even that such a man would allow his daughter to get involved in a kidnapping plot?
He's got a great laughing animation.
And what is so funny, Agent Lang?
You're good at making things up in your head and deciding it's the truth, aren't you?
What are you trying to say?
Your thinking is much too innocent. After all, I've thought of another possibility.
Is that so? Well, let's hear it. Another possibility.
I'll grant you that the two of them are father and daughter. But isn't it possible they both knew that fact? It was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the House of Amino. And the two of them made good use of their meetings to plan this little kidnapping. Wouldn't you say my scenario is perfectly probable as well?
I mean, yeah. It's actually not a bad idea. So this is his version of how things might have been.
You don't have any proof that either one didn't know of the true relationship, right?
You mean they knowingly committed the kidnapping as father and daughter? Wish we could punch Lang. Me too. However, I'm fairly certain that would mess up my cravat, and also that he would probably break me in half and then eat me.
That's right. That's one really rotten family.
Is that really what happened? I'd better take a long, hard look at the evidence. Alright, so we got a rebuttal. I mean, I'll press on it just to hear what he has to say, but I don't really think this is where we're going to get anything.
Hold it!
Precisely, and what father would ever willingly kill his own daughter?
Go back!
I've seen a lot of things in my travels. And I can tell you that being related by blood is sometimes proof of nothing.
Lang seems a tad spiky to punch. Yeah, this is true. We could always aim for the nice, soft fur. Aim for the trim. Then dragon skull on the jacket? No, I don't want to say it's a skull. If you look at the stylization, well, actually. No, you know what? You could view those as vertebrae, so I think it's an entire skeletal dragon running up his arm, basically. It's a pretty cool look. Agrius, thank you for the raid. Come on in. How is everyone doing this evening? Welcome. We are, well, for those just arriving, Thaler, good to see you. Been a while. And Reddy, good to see you as well. For those just arriving, my name is CareLevelZero. By day, I'm a senior game designer for Red Hook Studios and Darkest Dungeon 2, and by night, I like to play weird games and share them with people. And right now, we are working on Ace Attorney Investigations, the remaster that released recently of a game that I actually didn't play back when it came out. Apparently, not many people did. Hopefully, it'll do better on its second outing than it did on its first. And now I'm out of coffee. We are, I think, approaching the end of the third case at the moment. And also horrifically voicing everything ourselves, so, you know, good luck to your ears. What were you playing tonight, Agrius? Also, good to see you back again. I know my shadow is not going to tell me what you're playing, but there is Agrius. Agrius is actually a good friend of mine. Meat Space friend at that. And also a very common co-op partner for me. I do quite enjoy playing games with him. Haven't been able to in a little while. Both been crazy busy, but him and Thaler, like, you know, co-op I can count on. And no, I'm not besmirching my Space Marine 2 crew when I say that. Oh, thank you, Cubby. I enjoy doing the voices. Oh, how was Star Wars Outlaws? Outlaws. I've generally heard good things about it. Where are we? Oh, right. I was going to press on. Isn't it possible they both knew the fact?
Hold it!
So far, so good. Slow start. Like the general vibes? Nice. You think they knew? Welcome back with Ice Cream Pyro.
Yes, I don't think only the victim knew. I think the girl realized it as well. They both knew who the other person was, but they had to pretend that they didn't.
Because he was on the lam.
You got it. The victim couldn't exactly go around flaunting who he was. Furthermore, it was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the House of Amino.
Hold it!
Pressing on everything in the moment, getting info. One is a butler and one is a friend of the sun, you mean?
They probably thought that was their best shot.
Didn't she say that they, like, had a bit of the childhood friend thing going on? Is that what you honestly believe?
Of course. And the two of them make use of their meetings to plan the little kidnapping.
Hold it!
Americone dream. Nice. You mean how they plotted to commit this crime as blood relatives?
Can you think of a better partner? There's certainly a clever pair.
The butler and the girlfriend. No one would ever suspect that they were, in fact, family.
Yes, from the very beginning, they painstakingly practiced these roles well.
Wouldn't I say his scenario is perfectly probable? I believe you're being a bit too overconfident for someone with no evidence. Yeah, that's on my list as well, Newton. Picking up Metaphor ReFantasia. I'm going to stream it, but it's weird. Given that I have been playing Atlas games since like the PS1 era, and I've generally been a fan, I don't find Metaphor lighting a fire under my ass. Though to be fair, I don't find most games lighting a fire under my ass lately. I don't run into a lot of stuff I'm like, yes, no, desperately, I want to stream this badly.
Am I? Because I don't see you presenting any evidence to the contrary.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Without evidence, we are stuck in a stalemate. Agent Lang isn't wrong. His scenario is certainly a probable one.
You better hurry up and do something or Lauren's gonna wind up looking really bad. Other than Freedom Wars. And that's the funny thing. The stuff that is lighting a fire into my ass, it's remasters of stuff that I just thought we were never gonna see again. So yes, I am totally there for the Freedom Wars remaster.
I know, but first things first. Is Agent Lang's line of logic factually correct? Did the two of them really knowingly commit the crime as father and daughter?
Okay, let's double check what we've got. Okay, let's see. We might be able to go with this. Despite surveillance, he has yet to show up. It's a bit questionable. What are they going for in this? What is the question they're really asking? Feeling the same, feeling I'm just jumping from one hype train to another hype train. I ran out of hype a long time ago, I think. This is the issue. But I mean, that's kind of why I love sharing the niche games with people, because that is a little more interesting to me overall. I'll still do Metaphor because my favorite character designer is on it, one of my favorite composers is on it. Even if I wasn't a big fan of Persona 5, Katsuro Hashino was the director of 3, 4, and 5, and 3 and 4 were big hits for me, so since he's doing Metaphor, I'll give that the shot too. It also just looks kind of insane. Bit of a tricky one. I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is. Let me read through what they got to say. Two of them were father and daughter. Also, they both knew that fact. I don't think... So the dossier says that despite surveillance they haven't shown up. I wonder if that's what I can kind of use. But it doesn't mean they couldn't have just talked at work. I don't think that's going to help us at all. This is only relevant to the more immediate stuff that was going on. I don't think any of the other stuff. I feel like it's got to come down to the dossier. The question is, how do we want to present it? No coincidence the reunited pair became involved in the House of Amino is also... I don't think I have any evidence related to that one way or another. So they make good use of their meetings to plan. Based on the phrasing, I'm gonna go after this line. If only because the dossier expressed that they surveilled the daughter and he didn't show up. So I don't think they really encountered each other. I think Lance arranged everything. He brought them all together, which means they didn't really encounter each other at all prior to this. Because that would be consistent with the surveillance implying that they have not actually shown up. What's the question mark badger evidence? Oh, just that the victim's costume. He was likely wearing one due to footprint shape and the lack of blood. Which means it's potential that she never even knew who he was until she shot him. She may not have ever really seen his face, depending on how things played out today. I'm gonna go with the dossier. They supposedly did not meet, according to surveillance.
Objection!
Music's still playing. Yeah, that sounds pretty generic response, so I don't think that's it. Or at least not the right place for it. That statement just now stands in contradiction to this piece of evidence.
That thing has nothing to do with what I was saying, but it really does. Your logic is so badly in need of repair that you might as well throw it out too. Ow. This is the real deal here. Your courtroom mannerisms are worthless at a crime scene. Dude. He's so rude.
Okay, so it's not good use of the means. Alright. I'm gonna go to the earlier one, where he implied that they knew.
really feel it comes down to the line about surveillance and them not having met.
Objection!
No, I think I blew it again. I think. Assuming the music's going, I'm gonna assume this is wrong, but I'll read it out anyway just in case. You'd see there's a very big flaw in your logic. Yeah, are you sure it's not your eyes that are flawed? Yeah, probably you can see straight. Alright, are we going for the fact then that... Then again, I made the assumption that they haven't encountered each other prior to this kidnapping, so is it possible they were all... That only implies that today they wouldn't have known each other, though. Why are we unable to shoot this guy? Because no one gave me a gun. And our thief won't steal one for me. Also, he's got like 99 cops here. And one gumshoe. Could it be the name on the wings? I don't think that disproves them knowing each other, particularly since it basically matches them together.
Hold it!
Press slang and reread a little bit here. Don't think only the victim knew, think the girl realized as well. Both knew who the other person was, they had to pretend they didn't. This was on the lamb. No, that doesn't really give me anything. No coincidence they reunited. Became involved in the House of Amino.
Hold it!
Double check, read this. Helps this one's a bit of a jump. Oh, I love bad logic. Felly, how's it going? How you doing today? So yeah, so one's a butler, one's a friend. One's a shot. Okay, there's virtually nothing off that then. Get used to their meanings. This is the one that I still feel like is the issue. And they plotted to commit the crime as blood relatives. Clever pair, butler and girlfriend, no one suspect their family. Painstakingly practice those roles well. Wouldn't say it's bad logic, just not something you'd expect to present at this stage. Oh, gross. Yeah, I really don't get what they're going for. Like the prosecutor's badge. One of these days that will be the correct answer, damn it. Oh, nice, Felly. That sounds good. Yeah, I really don't get what they're going for with this. It will be, and I'll be deeply disturbed. I'm doing well, Felly. Thanks for asking. Planning some updates to my schedule. I'm thinking of taking a 2 months on, 1 month off kind of thing. Give me some real downtime to actually work on additional project stuff.
Hold it!
Press that just so I can reread. But too overconfident with no evidence. I mean, so am I. Scenario is probable. The two of them really knowingly commit the crime as father and daughter. Okay, so he's got... As for lines that imply the father-daughter thing, I think I've ruled out the first one. Because he's just agreeing that they are related. Possible they both knew the fact. No coincidence they're in a pair. Just the to plan. No, that does seem like the second one is our better pick. So we're going for the fact that did they both know? I don't know what we have, because I'm pretty sure I already used the dossier on this line specifically because it implied that surveillance implied they weren't meeting up. Did I? Did I use it on this one already? Crap, can I even go back far enough to check that I used it there? Let's see. Okay, I did. There, that's where I did it. Confused about which kidnapper had the gun? We don't technically know. Of the 3 people involved, all we know is that one of them shot Deveray up on the stage. There is a chance it's Lauren, but it's not a guarantee. And if she's honestly admitting to it at this point, then my bet is that it's actually Lance that shot him. And she's covering. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Lauren's covering for Lance. And I'm pretty sure he arranged all of this stuff due to debt. But how to get to that point? I'm pretty sure this is the line, but I don't really feel like I have anything that actually works for it. Because if they're implying that... No, see, I don't like that leap of logic if that's what it is. If they're implying that because of the costumes, they did not know who each other were today, that really does absolutely nothing to take away from everything that's already been said about them knowing their family. So if it were something like that, that would be just... that would be a really terrible leap of logic. Which is why I'm going to pick it.
Objection!
Okay, that's
Not
good.
the best!
Good. Has that been correct? I'll honestly be incredibly annoyed. Oh god, I'm getting a full read for my failure.
Longji says, confidence is like a soul, and words without confidence are but empty shells. You shouldn't waste your breath on words you have no confidence in.
Oh man, I like that he came out with the full scroll response to that. Gonna be dumb, I can feel it. Yeah, we've already had the one earlier that just seemed really stupid as the correct answer.
Whoa, what a weird looking Steins Gate.
Oh god. Thank you for the bits, Bill. Don't you dare compare the two. Steins Gate didn't have an editor. This clearly did. Alright, Sione, I'll take you up on that. This one feels really messy to me. Look, as much as I like Steins Gate, the fact is, it needed at least 2 editors dual-wielding chainsaws to be corrected.
Editor? I hardly knew her.
Thank you for the bits, Bill. How you doing this evening? Based on the fact there are 2 kidnappers? That would have to be this. Okay, so we're probably going against the fact that there are 2... Wait, I don't actually have anything that proves that... I can use the incorrectly updated thing about 3 stolen costumes when it was actually 4 that were taken. Even though I didn't need a 4th. Alright, let's go in the grounds. See, that's not... I don't like that leap of logic either. It's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about whether or not to prove that they know that they're related or not the number of kidnappers. That's a little bit of a leap.
Objection!
Yeah, I feel like this case has done this a little too often. This kidnapping wasn't planned by just 2 people alone.
And what kind of proof do you have of that?
Quite simply, there were 3 kidnappers.
That response. 3.
4 costumes were stolen from the Wild Wild West area's back room. We found one of them in the kidnapper's hideout. But as for the other 3, we can assume they were being worn by 3 different people. We also found a set of 3 cups and 3 folding chairs that were used in the hideout. It all clearly points to a 3-man group. And I believe this 3rd person is the real mastermind behind the kidnapping.
Who is this mastermind?
I present to you the brains behind the kidnapping. Oh, please let me just fucking pick this douchebag.
Take that!
Lance Amano?
Yes, his abduction was in fact schemed up by Lance himself. Recall what he said when he appeared before us.
Did you see the faces of your kidnappers?
No, I didn't see their faces, but two. One was a woman. However, there were 3 kidnappers, which is in direct contradiction to what he said. But I only saw 2 people.
Never looked in a mirror, did you? This guy was being held hostage. It's possible he couldn't see all 3 of them.
Ah, yes, about when you were being held. I have my doubts about what happened then. Lance, do you mind telling us what happened while you were being held captive? I really don't remember much anymore, honest. But if I don't tell you at least something, you won't believe me at all, will you?
I mean, we're not gonna believe you regardless, so.
I was kidnapped yesterday morning. They had me shut in that room, blindfolded the entire time. But the kidnapper suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside.
Well, you said the shut in that room. What room? Because I was in the only other room there.
My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that they left me alone. I made my escape and ran away from the room as fast as I could. Through the underground passageway, I presume?
Which room are we talking about exactly? Because, man, if it winds up being mine, we know that that one doesn't go anywhere. Are you okay?
Sorry, I really didn't want to recall that horrible ordeal, but... But now you believe me, right?
No, not quite yet.
Oh, how can you not? Why do you look at me with icy daggers in your eyes?
Because he's a prosecutor, and because they're all like that.
I'll have you know, Agent Lang, a prosecutor's eyes are for discerning the truth. If I have to stab you to get it, I will. And should they be interpreted to be cruel at times, then so be it. There is a sticking point in Lance's testimony. Let's see what he offers up when I push a little.
They won't look me in the eyes. Alright, kidnapped yesterday morning. I mean, I'll press it, but whatever.
Can you tell us about when you were abducted in a little more detail? It was a strange morning. I felt like I was right in the middle of a great calm.
Wow. Okay, sorry, the bad Keanu Reeves reading just is becoming more and more appropriate.
And where were you? Where were you when you experienced this calm?
Well, someone's not calm now.
Our family garden, of course. Where else could it have been?
No, excuse me for asking.
This child is more princess than prince. I was out taking a walk to shake off the morning blah. Then, out of the blue, someone from behind clamps a hand over my mouth. You didn't see your attacker?
I was LARPing as Johnny Silverhand.
During my great calm, I was LARPing as Johnny Silverhand, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the bits, Bill. Oh my god, it does look like a hat, Eric.
They must have used some drug to knock me out. Because before I knew it, I was off in La La Land again. When I woke up, I was in the kidnapper's hideout already, all tied up.
I'm shut in the room blindfolded the entire time.
Hold it!
By that room, you mean the room in the kidnapper's hideout, correct? Yes, but I was blindfolded the whole time, so I didn't know that until I made my escape. Then, you were in the same room as your kidnappers? They spoke in hushed tones, but I could catch bits of their conversation. It was definitely 2 people, and one of them was definitely a woman. I was so scared, I could tell they were nearby, so I didn't dare make a move.
Kidnapper suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside.
Hold Hold it!
Keep pushing them.
The kidnappers disappeared. The room fell into a sudden silence. I had been left behind like an unwanted mutt. And what do you mean by unwanted mutt?
What a pointless question. It's not like he's gonna tell you anything new, you know.
It's a poetic simile. You should learn how to use them too. You may look refined on the outside,
Oh my god, he brought his own wind.
but it's no good if you're not refined on the inside as well.
Hands were cuffed. Stroke of luck that they left me alone.
Hold it!
But then those cuffs on your wrists, I suppose you were still cuffed in that case? I am well aware of how I am chained to reality. I couldn't find the key, so I'm afraid that I'm stuck like this. Even though I escaped from that jail cell, I will forever be a prisoner.
Jesus, we accidented into such the right voice for this.
Hold it!
Alright, made his escape.
How did you manage to escape? I wanted to just get out of there, but the door leading outside was locked.
Boom! Okay, cool. That's what we're going for then. As we know, it's not locked.
Which is why I had to use the underground passageway to make my escape. I remember our escape to be equally as hard. This is an invaluable piece of testimony. I mustn't let it go unexamined.
Alright, door leading outside was locked tight, so I had to use the underground passageway. Now, I don't recall if I have... Yes, there we go. So, used to jam the handle. So we can use this to imply that the door was not actually locked at all.
Objection!
You say that the door leading out was locked, but was it really?
That man popped right out of his handcuffs. We're talking about the room behind the saloon front, right? Look, I heard that it took quite a few men to get that thing open. Right, Sheena? Yes, that is correct.
Then take a look at this.
What is that, a sword? It's not an especially reliable one if it's broken like that.
Allow me to start from the end. My conclusion is that the door was never locked. It was simply held shut by this sword, which was used to jam the handle. Lance, even though your hands were cuffed together, you could still use them. If that's the case, then why did you not just simply remove the sword and escape? Why didn't I? I was disoriented? Yes, that's it. I didn't notice it. As if I should accept such a bold-faced lie. You locked yourself in that room because you had to make yourself look like the victim. But you did not in fact possess the key to the door. That is why you used the prop sword to improvise and create a prison of your very own.
Not so fast!
You've been making this guy out to be one of the kidnappers for some time now. I wonder if you've forgotten something very important along the way.
And what would that be?
A motive. What else? Do you honestly think that an upright, pure boy like him would hatch up a completely pointless scheme such as kidnapping himself?
Objection!
This proves that Lance did indeed have a motive to commit this crime.
Because the sender was the tender lender.
Take that!
To put it simply, Lance has a very urgent need for money. And this is hardly your typical love letter. It is in fact a collections bill. It appears our upstanding boy has accumulated quite a debt. Isn't that right, Lance?
Looks like it's hard being the son of a rich man, too.
Yes, I would. Have you met rich people?
It must be rough when you have to resort to stealing from your old man, huh?
All right, I give up. I abducted myself.
Oh, that poor girl. Yep, nope, everything's just falling apart at the seams now.
Lance, I will stand here and have the wind blow through my hair. It's over, Lolly. In this life, we really are bound to our fates after all. All I wanted was to go with you to a new town, somewhere where no one would know us. I wanted us to be well off with that $1 million, but now, that dream is over.
Oh, Lance.
Then you're giving yourself up? Yes. I had planned to run away from this world with my lolly. Oh my god, that phrasing. Oliver even helped us with the plan, but then he had to go and stab us in the back.
He turned on you.
Maybe he didn't want to split the ransom money, that's my guess. It happened almost right after you made the drop-off. When we were alone, he attacked me all of a sudden. After a brief struggle, I was able to contain him and keep him under control. We left him inside the room as Lolly and I made our escape. We wore different costumes and split up.
Man, given the outfits and the the fact that there couldn't be two of these people in the park at any given point in time, I really thought we were going to actually wind up running into more to do with solving through that. But it didn't really come up much.
Lolly left first in the Blue Badger costume. And that would mean the person Officer Meekin saw was Miss Pops. Right then, the old man just had to wake up. I was careless and he tackled me pretty hard from behind. Then Oliver put on a bad badger costume, took the suitcase with $1 million and ran. I contacted Lolly right away and warned her that he had a gun. They had no idea that they were related, so I thought that it could only end badly.
I still do not believe it. The person was not my father. Because if he was, I just killed my own father.
Lolly, then it really was you?
Chain of events. Alrighty, here we go. That man was not my father, because at Stadium, there was Bad Badger pulling suitcase with $1 million in it. That Badger pointed gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead. That is why I used gun I got from Lance. There was gunshot, another person crumpled to ground, and I ran, scared for my life.
Wait, who's got the money then? I think the big picture's finally coming into focus, don't you?
Lolly, forgive me. I didn't think it would turn into something so frightening. If only I could have protected you.
So, Miss Pops, she shot her own dad without even knowing who he really was?
If what she says is true.
Are you saying she's lying? And why would she lie about something like that? What purpose would it serve?
You'd be surprised how often people lie without even realizing it themselves, Kay. Like my love for Phoenix.
Wait, no, what? What's that supposed to mean?
What I mean is listen very carefully to her confession once more and you'll see.
The chain of events. So, I have a feeling we've got an issue here with two Bad Badger outfits. She took off, didn't take the, yeah, she took off. She didn't take the money, and she obviously didn't move the body if she really did take off at that point. And we know that it had a model gun attached to the costume, so I'm going to assume that this is kind of what we're going to be leaning towards.
Hold it!
Let's do some pressing.
Please calm down and let's slowly talk through this.
But
all you have to do is simply tell us what happened at the stadium. Leave it to us to search out the truth. Can you do that for me?
Alright, so it's Stadium. He's a Cinderella's character crumbles if he admits his feelings. That's the real health bar? Oh my god, we had feelings, and it showed. Even if it was embarrassment. There was Bad Badger pulling suitcase with $1 million in it.
Hold it!
Let's press.
That was the ransom money, wasn't it?
Yes, that is how I was able to identify Mr. Deacon almost immediately. It was all thanks to what Lance told me.
And what did he tell you?
Well, he called me on cell phone and told me that Mr. Deacon had betrayed us and had run off with ransom money. And about how he had a gun. Badger point is gonna be aiming to shoot me dead. I'm pretty sure this is what we're gonna counter with the fact that there's a model gun attached to it, but just in case, we'll do the usual press through everything first.
Hold it!
Were you able to clearly see the gun?
Yes, got a really good look at it while it was pointed at me. Oh, father, why would you try to shoot me?
Do you think a father would shoot his own daughter, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't know. Don't have any kids of my own. Probably would want to shoot them, though.
I don't want to believe it myself. But it's true. Father's left arm was raised with a gun in it.
That's right-handed, though. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Okay. That might not be what we're going for then. Because that is very clearly a right hand. Huh. Okay.
Pointed straight at me. I'm about to die, I thought.
Miss Pops, please calm down and take a deep breath. And then would you allow me to please hear that last statement one more time?
Yes, of course. Badger pointed gun in the left hand at me, aiming to shoot me dead.
Left hand. Hold on, is there, the dossier? Dominant hand, right. I thought I'd read that somewhere. Okay. Interesting. So, I think, actually, we're not going for, it's not the model gun, blah blah blah. It's, we're going for the dominant right hand.
Objection!
I'm glad we pressed. I have here a dossier on your father. And according to this, your father was right-handed.
Then,
The person pointing a gun at you from atop the stage was not Mr. D.
Knuckle back!
Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. I think you need to take a refresher course. The Bad Badger has a model gun attached to his right hand, which is why the only hand he could have held the real gun with was his left.
Yes, and he was just telekinetically floating the case of money. Also, holy crap, the Proto Badger looks super creepy there. You know what he looks like? So, Blue Badger is like the costume you buy, and Proto Badger is like, don't worry, honey, we have Blue Badger at home. You know, it's the terrible knockoff version of a onesie costume you get from like a really bad Spirit Halloween.
Isn't it possible that it went down like that?
Agent Lang, were you paying attention to what Miss Pops was saying? Bootleg channel, exactly. Then again, I suppose I can't expect someone who has never set foot in court to
Blue
catch
Badger
it.
from Wish.
Blue Badger. Thank you for the bits, Phil. Yes, Blue Badger from Wish. Wow.
Enough with the smugness. Out with it already.
Miss Pops told us earlier.
it was Bad Badger pulling suitcase with $1 million in it.
According to you, the Bad Badger had the gun in his left hand, which would mean that he was pulling the suitcase with his right hand. So, then the thing becomes, if he was pulling the suitcase with his right hand, it means either the gun had already been removed, or they were wearing the Bad Badger head, potentially, but not the rest of the outfits. Is that correct, Miss Pops?
Yes, exactly. I am sure it was Bad Badger. It had those huge sunglasses on face.
And if that's the case, even I can see there's a huge contradiction.
Yes, Miss Pops claims to have seen the Bad Badger, and yet the Bad Badger had both of his hands full. These two pieces of information contradict each other, so one must be wrong. Well, not exactly. I mean, technically both are correct-ish. I mean, I think we're going to go with it wasn't the Bad Badger. I kind of almost want to say both are correct, though, because yes, she saw the Bad Badger because it was the head, but no, it wasn't the Bad Badger because it had its hands full. But it kind of depends on how they want to play it. We could say it wasn't the Bad Badger because it wasn't the full outfit.
technically, if it was the head and a different outfit or the model part had been removed, then both things are correct. So I'm gonna go with that. They are both correct.
Impossible. That just leaves us with an irresolvable contradiction.
Miss Pop's entire statement rests on the fact that she saw his sunglasses and beard. What if the Bad Badger wasn't wearing pants on his lower half?
Holy shit, was he naked?
This proves there was a way for the Bad Badger to freely use both of his hands.
What if he wasn't wearing pants? Just that.
Okay, actually, so it looks like the torn hand bit is not something we have access to here, so I think I'm gonna go with the fact that it's the separate head and body. Now, not wearing pants does put it a little bit weird, but how about not wearing Bad Badger's pants? It's a little bit different.
Take that!
The costumes have two parts to them, the head and the body. Oh, I get it now. The head Miss Pop saw was probably really the head of the Bad Badger. However, is it not possible the body was that of an entirely different badger?
A different badger?
Pantsless criminal on loose? I know, and somehow no one's seen him. Yes, or to put it more bluntly, I believe it was the lower half of this badger. Body of the Bad Badger, Miss Pop saw... Oh. The bottom half... Oh, shit. So... Oh my god, I don't remember... Oh, which... Crap, which one did Miss Pop say she put on? Oh man, it was back during Lance's testimony. Oh, damn it, I can't go that far back. Which one did Lance say he put on? She had blue on? Okay, so then he had... If she had blue, then he had to be Proto.
Take that!
What the heck is it?
It is Proto Badger. Yes, and it's a simple matter of process of elimination. Miss Pops is wearing the blue badger's costume, so we can eliminate that one. And the pink badger is the wrong color, which would have been incredibly obvious. Unless you're Miss Windbag, Old Bag, Wendy. You know what I mean. Thank you for feeding Chathula, PP Guy. Some of the thought of the badgers without pants is more terrifying. I know, it's not a mental image I really wanted. How are these faces? Ugh. All that's left is the Proto Badger costume. Miss Pops, who was the one who wore the Proto Badger costume? It would be Lance.
Are you saying what I think you are? That Lance Amino donned the Bad Badger's head and pretended to be Mr. Deacon.
His hands were free, the model gun had been torn off, and I guess the blanks gun was actually what Miss Pops was carrying. Wow, man, he just planned to fuck them both over from the start, apparently.
On top of which, he plotted to shoot Miss Pops while wearing that hideous thing.
The stage that was set up in the stadium was nothing more than that, a setup. And his purpose was to lead Miss Pops into believing she had committed murder. Standing there in front of Miss Pops and pretending to be the victim. It was all done so she would pull the trigger. I have no idea what you're talking about. Why exactly would I have had to do all that, huh? There is but one reason, Lance Amino. You are the real culprit behind the murder of Mr. Oliver Deacon. What? No. That's slander. Take it back. You take it back right now. Just out of curiosity, Lance, which is your dominant hand? I'm left-handed, but what does that have to do with anything? Well, it depends. According to Miss Pops, her attacker held a gun in his left hand.
Who is what hand? It doesn't prove a thing. Besides, now you're just being absurd. It's not like the Proto Badger's bulletproof.
Oh my god. BB Guy, thank you for the giant emote bits for the supersized Dende. May it scream into all our souls.
One misfire and he would have found himself dead, right?
Of course, logically, if he had been shot, he probably wouldn't be here with us. But I believe he had thought of that as well and prepared accordingly. And this should be all the evidence you need. This is how Lance made sure that he wouldn't be hit by a bullet. Okay, now we can pull the Ripped and Bad Badger costume capable of firing blanks.
Take that!
We found one half of a Bad Badger costume in the hideout, a broken one. It was not the same one the victim was wearing, plus it was missing something. And that something is the model gun that the Bad Badger carries, which can fire blanks.
What? No, that sounds like bullshit.
Miss Pops, where is the gun you use now?
I threw it away into sea.
That makes it a bit tough to verify what it was. Although, I believe we can safely assume that it was the model gun in question.
Never enough. All you've been spouting so far is pure conjecture.
I admit that as long as the model gun is lost to us, I can't prove I'm right. However, I can say that the probability that I am right is very high.
Okay, well, let's pretend that you're right, that the murder at the stadium was a fabrication. In that case, where do you think the murder really took place, Mr. Prosecutor?
I don't know yet.
I knew you were full of it.
However, I do believe that the murder took place during an earlier time frame.
Please wait a second. It's simply not possible. Because I saw Mr. Deacon after he was restrained by Lance.
She saw the victim in the state of being restrained? What Miss Pop saw?
I came back to hideout long after other two. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. He tied Mr. Deacon securely to a beam in the room next door.
Oh, honey. Oh, honey, that was me.
After that, two of us put on costumes, made escape.
So Mr. Deacon must have escaped after the two of you left, right?
Thought perhaps it would attract too much attention if we left together, so I left first. I planned to meet up again at stage and stadium. But then, as I was walking through park, got a call from Lance on cell phone.
Oliver managed to escape. It looked like he was waiting until I was alone. He also stole the gun from me at that time.
And then the murder happened. Mr. Deacon must have overheard their plan to meet up at the stage. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, Miss Pop saw the victim with her own eyes. Which means the victim was still alive at that time, wouldn't you agree?
Why does that sound wrong to me? There must be something amiss about this account. Let's see what happens when I examine it in more detail. Well, let's do a double check here. What do I have on me? I don't know that I have anything specific to... Anything specific to the room? No. Oh, that's nice. This finally did update to who was wearing what. Well, that's nice. Alright, well, let's press for the moment and see what we wind up with.
Hold it!
What exactly did you arrive back at the hideout?
It was after we picked up ransom money.
And where were you up until the time you returned?
I was scouting park out, making preparations for escape. I walked around in various areas, looking for best route.
Ah, so each of them had their own roles to play.
After I was done, I went back to hideout. By time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. Okay, let's press on that.
How did Lance look at that time?
He looked shocked. He also looked a little down. When I saw sadness in eyes,
Thank you, that's enough for now. And what of Mr. Deacon? What was his situation like? Tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the room next door. I mean, we were out cold for a while, so conceivably there could have been a period where we were tied up with him, but...
Hold it!
You are sure that it was Mr. Deacon that you saw?
Yes, I am certain of what I saw.
Did you go into the other room to check?
Lance said it was best if I did not get too close to him. Lance, he is such a kind soul.
Then are you telling me that you did not confirm that it was Mr. Deacon for yourself?
I checked through slated door that separates two rooms. He had Bad Badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure. It just had to be Mr. Deacon.
That's why the head was in the room with me. She saw a Bad Badger head? Captain had a Bad Badger's head on, so absolutely sure it was Mr. Deacon. Well, I mean, we woke up with this, but let's keep pushing, carry this thing through before we loop and just see. Really bad noticing pants. She does not seem to have the capacity to look below the collar. Unless a gun is involved. So the tied up Mr. Deacon was still in his Bad Badger costume.
Yes, and
It appeared that she misread the whole situation. What now? Should I raise an objection? Yes, because that was me. The person you saw was not the victim.
what? Why not?
I'll tell you why not with this. This, Miss Pop, shows that the person you saw was not the victim. How are we going to... I mean, I kind of want to give the head because... Phrasing. Sorry. God damn it. Is it time to give the badge? Yeah, shut up, Raven Pyro. Fine, fine. You know what? We'll prosecutor badge it.
Take that!
I am not sure what you mean by that.
It would seem I made a mistake. Or did I? The badge! Why was he tied up in his Bad Badger costume? I think a little more on this, the answer should come to me. Listen more carefully to our test. Okay, we're gonna loop around here. Okay, let them leap. Remember what happened after. I'll go down the stage. Yep. Let me just roll back. Let's see. Deacon. I'm so sure it's Deacon. Okay, so this is definitely the line. So I kind of feel like I need to just point to the head so I can. It was left in the isolation room with us. I feel like I gotta point out that, like, you're making the assumption because the head is on him, but it was us.
Objection!
Miss Pops, the person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all. What? The person you actually saw was this person. Me. It was me.
The person I saw was you, Mr. Edgeworth.
I always thought it was a bit odd. Why would the kidnappers abduct me even after I'd handed over the ransom? It's not as though I saw the face of the kidnappers. If I were them, I would have just taken the $1 million and ran. But in the end, there was a point to it all. It was to make me look like Mr. Deacon. And if that was the reason for which I was abducted, then I believe we can assume that the victim was already dead at that time. Well, Lance, am I right? That's... You showed Miss Pops a person, namely me, with a Bad Badger's head on, and then made your costume escape together, or so you pretended.
What do you mean he pretended?
Exactly that. I believe Lance watched you escape, and then doubled back to the hideout. Probably to come and remove the Bad Badger head from my unconscious self. And to create his fake prison with the prop sword. He then escaped via the passageway.
Hold your tongue, boy.
Put the clothes. Now, that does sound weird, but it was not a big slit in the door, so it's entirely possible she actually couldn't see much of us other than that the head. Head slumped forward. It's going to cover a decent amount given how big it is. Given the size of the slit in the door, it's possible she really couldn't see her clothes. But as we've already gathered, she doesn't pay attention to pants, so, you know, not an observant girl.
Hold your tongue, boy. Don't get caught up in that tidal wave of words coming out of Mr. Prosecutor's mouth.
Tidal wave?
We've heard a lot come out of you, but I've yet to see a shred of evidence. The victim's betrayal and the subsequent detainment. All of that could have happened while you were out cold.
There was never a betrayal at all, I bet. That's right. You were out for quite a while, Mr. Prosecutor. Why do you know that? Why do you know that? Even if that were the case, Miss Pops would have still seen me tied to that beam. I was scared of Mr. Deacon, so I did not go into the next room. So I really have no idea if you were in there or not, Mr. Edgeworth.
You see, it would seem you can't prove a thing.
Damn it.
Who just said hold it? That's my line, and his line occasionally.
Please wait. Oh, Mr. Amino. Miles, my boy, it looks like you're really giving it your all. Uh-oh. And Lance, it's not good to cause trouble for others. Oh, Dad? Let's see. You're the one in charge of the investigation, correct?
Yeah, that's right, as he quickly puts his freaky shades back on.
I'm sorry that my son has been nothing but trouble. This probably won't make up for anything, but I have some evidence for you.
Oh, do you now?
Wesker shades, oh my god, right? Is that what I think it is? Nice. The gun is still attached to the hand, so could not have been carrying the two things at once. It's the Bad Badger costume the victim is wearing, and a gun. I couldn't wait around for the police, so I went and found these myself. It appears that they were disposed of in the sea. Damn, dude!
Is there no one in this country who actually obeys the law?
You do not get to say that. The dude has straight up been like, well, fuck your laws, I don't care. There, there. There now. Agent Lang, please calm down.
What the heck is that scrap of paper?
This appears to be a letter from Chief of Police. Please allow Mr. Amano complete freedom to do as he sees fit, it says. What?
The chief of police? What the? Just who does he think he is?
The person who wields highest authority in this area. Oh, there. So slow speaking. There's no need to be so upset.
I'm not a cop from this land, so I'm not bound by the laws of your country.
Is there no one here who obeys the law, he says? Oh, somebody peg this jackass with a chainsaw, please. And this dude just like patronizing the shit out of him. No. That wasn't meant to strong arm you into anything. It's just a request. I'm only asking that you please respect the laws of the land.
Can't really say no to that. However, returning to the topic at hand. It doesn't matter who found the evidence, its value remains unchanged. Alright now, let's take a look at this new evidence.
I've already got the results back. I had a special forensics research lab that I'm on good terms with conduct the tests. They verified the blood in the costume belonged to Oliver. As for the gun, the only fingerprints they could find were yours, Lauren. What? You disappoint me, Miles. I can't believe that you would cause my son such stress and heartache. Oh, do I believe you though? Well, no, to be fair, he could have been shot at a prior time anyways, gun wiped down, handed to her, but if the model guns can take blanks, then the blanks can also be taken from them and put into the real gun. So it is conceivable that he's not lying and that hers are the only fingerprints. And that it still would have been using blanks. Thank goodness I was able to find the final pieces of evidence. With this, you'll have no reason left to push my poor boy around. That's it. These are the case-making pieces of evidence. I'll be the judge of that. I won't rest until I've inspected. Oh my god, it's filthy. Now we'll start with the bullet hole. This bullet hole, it's kind of burnt around the edges, which means it was done at extremely close range. It's powder burn. Powder burn, well, I mean, you know how a gun works, right? When it fires, you do get a spray of powder out. You don't get powder burn unless you're quite close to it, so odds are, from the ground up to the stage, no, definitely not close enough. Wait, those burn marks were left by the gunpowder. This is the most important fact. Why is that? Because it's proof that the victim was shot at point-blank range. Alright, victim's costume. More than time of shooting, gunpowder burn is proof he was shot from point-blank. Could this gun be the actual murder weapon? Revolver used to kill Deacon was originally stolen from guard by victim during escape. So it is actually the old revolver that was stolen whenever he got out of prison. How did I know? What, powder burn, Pyro? I clean up my messes. Shouldn't everyone? What's in there? There's something, looks like glass. And what's this? It looks like there's something inside the costume head. Hey, they sparkle. I bet they're really valuable. CLZ gun. Oh, I mean, we almost have that. Yeah, if you watch any police procedurals or the like, you'll come across powder burn. It's not uncommon knowledge. What is more uncommon and doesn't come up very often, but is kind of neat, is slide grip. If you don't hold a gun properly when it fires, then the slide basically jumps back to basically move shot. If you hold the gun improperly, it actually rakes across the top of your hand and winds up cutting your hand. Almost as cool as powder burn. Doesn't come up nearly as often. Improper handling of a gun can injure you. Other than just recoil, throwing a gun back into your face, which is way more of a comedy thing. Sorry, but they're just pieces of a mirror. But why are they in here? Ah. Okay. Good. We've seen at least one broken mirror in the hideout. I mean, plenty of broken ones in the haunted house as well, but one directly in the hideout too. Found inside the victim's costume. Why were they there in the first place? Well, are these not the most definitive pieces of evidence you've ever seen? Yes, they are. Thank you for dooming your child. Thank you, Todd. This should be enough to convince even Mr. Edgeworth over there. Oh, you've had that happen, Cubby. Ow. Is it as painful as it looks? Decisive evidence. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderous gun. And they prove that it was Lolly who killed Oliver. And Oliver was also after Lolly's life. So, Mr. Edgeworth, even you must see that Lolly was only acting in self-defense. Gun can also twist if your hand is too small. Ooh, that's a fair point. Especially if it's not held straight. The fingerprints on the weapon, huh? Oh no, this isn't helpful at all. Look, Mr. Edgeworth, all I want to do is save Lolly. But in the end, all I can do is watch on as she takes the punishment for her crimes. That may be all you can do, however, I still have a case to solve and a job to do. The job of unraveling your insidious lie. You ruined me. Why won't you believe me, even in the face of all this evidence? Is it my hair? It's my hair, isn't it? You're jealous. Alright, rebuttal time. Alright, so yes, fingerprints on the murder's gun.
Hold it!
Those fingerprints, are you sure they belong to Miss Pops? There's no mistake about it.
Through my connections, I had the best forensics techniques money can buy performed. I find that to be a bit peculiar. What? Are you trying to pick an argument with me? Oh man, is this thing I could raise an objection over? If we did, you know what I would want? Wait. Oh no, I mean this is specifically the one that was stolen from the guard. So, if anything, it should have a lot of certain someone's. Something just lit up a minute ago. They found Miss Pop's fingerprints on this gun.
Can you let me hold it for a sec?
I shouldn't if you don't know how to handle it. Besides, Miss Pop's prints are on it.
Look, I'm wearing gloves. Really okay.
Oh, that's too much.
Oh shit, the sub-nuke! Oh my god, thank you so... Oh god. That probably choked everything for a moment. Thank you, Anonymous, for the incredibly generous 100 gift subs. Good god, are we still floating around 2,000? Oh my god, that reminds me. We don't need to hit 2,000. We already hit 2,000. Just to be clear, that's happening. That thing is already happening. I just realized I should probably mention that somewhere else. I brought it up in Discord, but... Oh, goddamn, I almost had a drink to... Well, last toast then. Cheers, and thank you so much for that extremely generous gift sub bomb. It is much, much appreciated. Cheers. Thank you so much. And, I have no idea who any of these people are, and most of them probably don't follow and have never heard of me, and they're going to be very confused. Congratulations, you have actually found a whole new way to spread word of the niche that I never considered. Though I suppose it's a lot like paying for advertising in its own way. Except you just sort of ran up to someone on the street and like jammed my business card into their pocket and then ran off laughing. That is pretty much the mental image I get for these now. Thank you for spreading my business card. Seriously, that's what's happening. These people are like, wait, what is going? What is this? Why? Who are you? What just happened? Reverse pickpocketing contact info, right? Oh. Radio Zero proudly serving the first name bunch of numbers audience now, I guess. Oh god, some of them are. Well, you know, most of them aren't, at least. Most, I think. I recognize 1, 2, 3. I recognize 3 names in there, for sure. 4. It might only be 4. Oh god. I think it's only 4. Almost in the bottom of the list, and it's 4. I recognize 4 out of 100 names in that list. I look forward to the next round of whispers from people going, what happened? Who are you? Where am I? New friends, enjoy random emotes. It's not like I'm gonna run off of it. The only things I don't return are treasures. 96% discovery hit rate. Booyah! Stealing either one would land you in jail, you know. So we didn't really have anything to say about that. It doesn't look like there was anything else to really examine. Don't look down the barrel of a gun. It's nice that they actually have something to kind of reflect the rifling in there, though. It's actually more detailed than I really expected. Might be the secret to discovery on Twitch, just insane sub-gifters. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. My follower count is just slowly, ever so slowly, but slowly bled down and just continuously down. 1 or 2 here and there. Even if I get new follows, always more drop off than actually gain. Ever since that crazy Friday night, that is actually the first time I've seen my follow count legitimately increase in like 2 years. Alright, I'm gonna raise an objection
on the grounds that if that is the gun, then we know it came from the prison. So I'm gonna raise the objection. I'm going for that. Frankly, I don't believe that Miss Pop's prints should be on that gun to begin with. And the reason why Miss Pop's prints should not be on the gun is... Okay, so let's go to... Wait, actually... I don't think I can... Can I say what I want to... She didn't have hands. I mean, she had hands, but she was in an outfit when she shot him, right? So she received the gun when she was leaving. She was in a costume. My only question is, what actually... That's just the victim's costume. I don't know that I have anything that I can point to and say, like, yo, she was wearing a costume, so we might actually have to go with the fact that this was the gun that Deacon stole.
Honorary pretty dude!
Bill, thank you for the 20
Get
gifts sub
gifted.
bomb, much appreciated. Much appreciated. Yeah, yep, rifling is the spiral in a barrel. It does help. It helps bullets fly. Also further in addition to keeping them straighter. Similarly, it's part of why when you throw a football, really good football throws have a wicked spiral
Now
on
it
them.
works.
Help stabilize it, ironically. Costume boxes. True, that might be the thing. Yeah. This is, yeah, we don't have like the costumes themselves, but this does say like she was in a costume, so it shouldn't be possible for her prints to be on it because, oh, third page of evidence to answer that question, it's just the glass right now, the mirror fragments. Yeah, it's pretty much got to be this then, I think, because this is the only way we can say like she was wearing a costume.
Take that!
It's simply not possible for Miss Pops to have left any prints on the murder weapon. Because while she was at the stadium, Miss Pops was wearing a costume. There's been no mistake. We found fingerprints. Well, Miss Pops, do you remember touching the gun at all at any time?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I did hold it for a bit back in hideout. I handed it off to Mr. Deacon when he and Lance left for Haunted House.
To retrieve the ransom money, I suppose. And there you have it. That is when Miss Pop's prints found their way onto the gun. Oh, I'm sorry, Ernest. I know we're old friends and all, but your boy's a piece of work, and I need to put him away. Do you understand now, Mr. Amano? The fingerprints do nothing to prove that Miss Pops is the murderer. But you still haven't done anything to prove that she isn't the killer, right? You seem very adamant about insisting that your girlfriend is a cold-blooded killer.
Oh, Lance.
No, I'm incredibly worried about her, but that doesn't change the fact that you don't have any evidence, right? That's where you're wrong. I have the evidence. But how? The story that Miss Pops killed the victim at the stage in the stadium. The whole affair is simply not true because that was not the real crime scene, but a setup. This proves the real murder was not committed at the stadium at all. Okay, this has got to be the powder burn then, because you could not have been, wait, do I not have... Oh, no, that's not a piece of evidence I distinctly have. Oh, no, there it is. Alright, the victim's costume. I was looking for the image of the body. So, point blank can't happen at the stage.
Take that!
Let us take another good look at the costume the victim is wearing. Then I believe you'll see why I insist he was not shot at the stadium. This is the part of the costume that proves it. I do like when they color code right before you're actually going to have to make a decision. Not because it necessarily mentally prepares you or anything like that, it's just, it's a nice consistency. Kind of an indicator of interaction is coming, even if it's only one line away.
Take that!
The burn around this bullet hole was made when the victim was shot at point-blank range. So then, you mean the murder Miss Olbeck saw at the stadium really was...
Yes, she saw two people, but they were separated by a distance. If the victim was indeed shot from below the stage, there shouldn't be a gunpowder burn.
Nice try, buddy.
Look at you, Mr. Smarty Pants Prosecutor. Since you seem to know all the answers, why not tell us where the real crime scene is then?
Lance set me up to look like Mr. Deacon back at the hideout. If that's the case, then the murder must have happened prior to that.
So probably actually occurred at the haunted house. As I recall, Lauren arrived late because she was scouting.
And the location where Lance and the victim were at just before I was imprisoned was... I've got it. I know the real scene of the murder. The real location in which Mr. Deacon was killed is...
You're the only one! I mean, we were at the haunted house. You know, that's where we got taken out. So there were two people, I believe, probably at that time, so he died in and around there.
I think it's not unreasonable to assume the murder took place in the haunted house.
In the haunted house.
Yes, and I have proof that it is highly likely that the victim was killed there.
Okay, there we go. They did pick the specific scene that showed one of the broken mirrors, so I think we're going to want to go with the mirror pieces in the costume. So maybe it's not the one from the hideout that matters. I'm not missing something when I say that, though, right? That would be... Yeah, I think that's what we're looking for.
Take that!
These were inside the costume that the victim was wearing. They're fragments of a mirror.
A mirror? And what does that have to do with anything?
Indeed, you don't exactly expect to find pieces of a mirror inside a costume.
Yeah, that's actually pretty dangerous.
However, there is one place I can think of where there is a plethora of mirror fragments. And that is the haunted house.
Also, there's blood on the wall, which I suppose, depending on how things played out, might be real, right?
Lance Amino, I propose that you killed Mr. Deacon with a revolver in the haunted house. I win. After that, you stole the Blue Badgermobile to move his bike to the Wild Wild West area. The timing of when the Blue Badgermobile was stolen confirms this as fact. Miles, my boy, say no more. I'm sorry, Mr. Amino, but I cannot do that.
Be quiet.
Yes, please, do something. Stop that boy from speaking any more nonsense.
Honest Domino, correct? I meant you. Now be quiet, Gramps.
How dare you?
I don't need words. The only thing I require is evidence. Decisive evidence.
Really? Wait, you want evidence now? You were the least consistent character in this game. You don't give a shit about evidence. I've presented you with a suspicious person. Just arrest him. That's what you do. You've made that very clear. This dude's writing is all over the place.
And to call these mirror bits decisive is a bit too presumptuous, Mr. Prosecutor.
What?
Sheena, wasn't there a mirror in the kidnapper's hideout?
Duh, there was mirror there.
This dude's writing is on ADHD.
Thank you for the bits, Bill. His writing is very, it's gone many different places, and it's walking all over itself in the process. Parody video I saw with Lang being voiced by Zap. I can absolutely see that one working. Unfortunately, I believe we already used Zap Brannigan for Jacques Portsman, who was also a douche. No surprise. A mirror that is for the haunted house.
You see, isn't it possible the fragments got into the costume there?
Am I excited for Metaphor?
I'll play it. I'll stream it some. We'll see how we like it.
Am I excited? Not really. I'm interested, but like, I don't have any hype for it.
But Agent Lang, there were no fragments on the floor, so the probability is very low.
Probability? I'm sorry. I don't believe in probabilities, or evidence, or anything, apparently. I don't know anything anymore. Lang Ji says, on truth's path, the word probability does not exist.
Okay, well, what if the probability is 100%?
Well, fuck you. The only thing that does is definitive proof. The question, Mr. Prosecutor, is, do you have the definitive proof you need?
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you? I'm thinking on it. Give me a moment. Do I have solid evidence that proves the murder took place at the haunted house? I don't think I do. No, the only thing we have that really... I mean, the sword could have come from it, given that we were clocked with one at one point, but we don't have definitive proof. So maybe if I say no, will let us actually go back to the haunted house and take a look? Because we haven't gone there at all. Yes, Razor. Lang Ji has many words of wisdom, though the wisdom part of that is questionable. The answer is no. Oh, I thought I was going to have to pick.
See? So since you don't have any, shut up.
I don't have the evidence yet, but... I'm certain the murder occurred around the time I turned the ransom over. Hey, I've eaten at that table! In Resident Evil 7! I know this place! God, given this game precedes Resident Evil 7, though. Wow. Huh. It just makes me think of it so much. At that time, the only people at the haunted house besides myself were Lance and Mr. Deacon. If I can prove that the murder took place at the haunted house, then I can prove Lance's guilt in connection to the murder. Welcome to the family, son. What now, Mr. Edgeworth? Agent Lang, I have a special request.
Yeah?
I'd like to prove that the scene of the crime was indeed the haunted house. Why in the world are you asking the werewolf for permission? I mean, he looks like he comes from a haunted house, so... Because I don't really have a choice if I want to find the truth.
Alright, permission granted. For you not to touch a single thing, got it?
That won't be a problem. All that's important to me is that the truth be brought to light. It doesn't matter by who or how it's done, as long as it is.
Sheena,
I'm here.
put in the paperwork for the authorization immediately.
Understood. I will go get Gatewater Group's approval.
And it was that this time.
Now. Let's hold on for a second. There's no need to obtain approval. Mr. Amano. Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this.
What is this, Sheena?
It is deed to haunted house. The deed.
Read it out loud.
Gatewater Land Incorporated hereby bequeaths property known as Haunted House to Mr. Amano for a lump sum of 1 million paid in full in cash. You know, yeah, okay, no. Sorry, dude, I'm going to roll all over you because up to this point I thought maybe you weren't actually corrupt, we're just a little bit blind to shit, but no, dude. What? As you can see, I am now the legal owner of the haunted house. Are you kidding? When did you... I ran into the owner of the park earlier, and we made the deal almost immediately for absolutely no reason whatsoever, and definitely not to prevent you from arresting my son. How quickly things move when you can prepare $1 million in the blink of an eye. Why did you have $1 million on hand? I mean, I know you've been counting your money and all, but did you happen to find a certain suitcase recently? Sheena being Russian makes sense aesthetically, but I headcanon their partnership as her being able to translate from based on her reading stuff and interpreting others' words a few times. Yeah, but she just has the look, and I needed a voice for her. It works for her so well. I just assume that the dude doesn't like to do his own work most of the time. Doesn't need the suitcase, it's all in his pants. I know, but the fact that it's $1 million specifically also means that technically by doing that, he's gotten rid of the $1 million evidence.
Like, that's now gone. Right? You technically destroyed it at the same time. That $1 million you paid, don't tell me it was... Oh, that's right. This disgusting suitcase belongs to you, doesn't it? I don't know how to feel about that coming back. On the one hand, my gift came back, and I like Miss Rhoda. On the other hand, it's back. I don't have any more use for it, so you may have it back now. You used the ransom money? My Lance is a good boy. No. He even apologized for the kidnapping a bit earlier. So I do believe that I will forgive him. After all, he did return the ransom money. That's the way things are. So if you would please discuss things with me from now on.
Discuss? What is there to discuss?
Why, permission to enter the haunted house, of course. So now would be a real good time for that whole I don't give a shit about the laws thing, Lang. We'll just tag along. While we were busy listening to Lance's story, Mr. Amino was out there preempting us. Permission to search the haunted house is denied. End of discussion. Go fuck yourselves. Agent Lang, I want you to arrest that girl. And Miles, you should hurry on home now, my boy, before I really lose my temper. Might buy your office building next. Or just your office. Mr. Amino definitely has the deck stacked in his favor here. What should I do? If I leave it like this, the truth will be lost forever. Oh, dude, that is the most fantastic timing for an episode end.